Nearly 100 days since the trucks have been in action, but it has been nonstop preparation ever since. Now, before the season can begin, the pieces, parts, and people have to be unloaded and unwound. The energy is through the roof, and tonight it's time. Staple organizations have strengthened their fleets, but new names are ready to leave their mark. And we have plenty of familiar faces returning. Travis Kvapil is back. Brendan Gaughan is not gone anymore. They're all trying to steal from the onion. Big track, big names. Elliott Sadler is driving for Kevin Harvick. You like global positioning? We have two Brazilians in the field. It's opening night. You like the setup presented by Polaris? Well, good news for you. It's on. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Devoda, and welcome to the very first setup of the year. No better place to start it all off than the birthplace of NASCAR. These are the steel horses that NASCAR's Cowboys are ready to ride. Covering all the action in the garage and in the pits this year, we have Ray Dunlap and Hermie Sadler. They are currently in the corral. Ray, get 2011 started.
Well, Krista, I'll tell you what, the energy is so electric down here at Driver Introductions. Brendan Gaughan comes back to the Truck Series, and he's got Michael James with him. This is pretty cool to come with your son, right, Brendan?
This has been a great time. You know, I mean, he's 1 for 1 with Victor Lane. He was at the 24 when we won in the TRG stuff, so it's trying to make 2 for 2, and our Tundras are fast in drafting practice, but qualifying practice wasn't great, so we weren't even worried about the qualifying. We're just going to draft to the front.
All right, the 62 rolls off 26th. Hermie?
Well, thank you, Chad McCumbee. This is the corral, all new in the Camping World Truck Series broadcast on speed. Nothing like being at Daytona. The crowd, the racetrack, the energy. What would it mean for you to get a win at this place?
Pretty huge. You know, I didn't even know I was going to be here till about Monday evening or so, and got to thank everybody at collegecomplete.com and everybody at Chase Mattioli Racing. Chase was a little under the weather this week, and they called me to take his place and get this thing in the show, and we beat the biggest hurdle, was getting the thing in the show, so now we hopefully we can go turn some heads tonight.
Let's go back to Ray Dunlap.
Thank you, Hermie. Let's hear from Eric Almirola. Your week didn't start off very good. Tell us what your expectations are for tonight after the crash in practice.
I think we're all right. Our backup truck is not nearly as good, but all the guys at Vision Aviation Racing put a lot of hard work in it after our primary was beautiful, man. That thing was really, really nice and fast, and we just got ourselves in a situation we probably shouldn't have that early in practice, but I feel like that's what it's going to take to win the race, and I tried it, and I figured if anybody to try it with, Kyle Busch would be the right one, and he just hooked me just the wrong way, and we got loose and wrecked. So really proud of all of our guys at Vision Aviation Racing.
They need you in driver intros. You got to go. Get out of here. That's Eric Almirola. He rolls off 34th. Krista?
You know what? You cannot guarantee very much at Daytona, but we can guarantee you this season on the Camping World Truck Series shows, we are going to send you as many drivers as we possibly can. You know, the Truck Series drivers, they don't have a shootout or a duel down here. In fact, Wednesday night's practice was the first time they had seen this new pavement. And that's not the only thing that's new, the surface. We told you about some of the new drivers in the field, and they're going to bring us a lot of excitement this year. The same old excitement that you have come to be accustomed to every single season. In fact, when I look back at last year, I get chills.
Drivers! Start!
These guys are all over one another.
Both of them sideways!
Uh-oh. Tempers flaring.
They get in each other's faces.
He thinks he owns the racetrack. I don't need to battle in the media. I'll just beat him on the racetrack.
It's a drag race. They're 3 wide at the stripe. Kyle Busch across the line wins it.
Oh, there they go.
This truck just went up in flames.
The truck rolls once, twice, 3 times. 3, 4, 5 trucks all collide.
That's hard contact.
It's raw, it's unpredictable, it's never happened before.
Elliott Sadler is going to win the first race at Pocono.
My first win, man. I told you we could do it.
Domination, that is an understatement.
Look, boys, I got it under control. We're going to win the race. No questions asked.
You are the 2010 champion. Thanks for sticking through the hard times. Proud of you. Boys are awesome.
It was a great celebration for Germain Racing getting the second championship, Todd. How does the second one compare to your first one? And is one or the other better?
Well, you know, they're both great. There's no doubt about it. You know, the first one, we all work our whole careers to put ourselves in that position, get with a good race team and a great manufacturer like Toyota and be able to accomplish something that we all, that's what we're here for. That was awesome. The second one, though, it was a little different, and it was more like validation for the first one. Okay, you did it the first time, but you were good enough and your team was good enough to get it done the second time. So it was awesome for the Germains to be able to get it. 2 championships, 5 years in existence. Not too bad.
Not too bad, I would say so. Entire Kingdom comes on board with Todd Bodine this weekend here at Daytona. Hermie?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Austin Dillon on the pole tonight now. This weekend has been all about the 10-year anniversary or honoring Dale Earnhardt here at Daytona. You got the black number 3. You were 10 years old and all that took place. What do you remember about that day, and how much pressure do you feel to be carrying these colors tonight?
You know, you got to look at it as a challenge and go out there and really want to run well for these fans. And it's just a great following this 3 has behind it. And I'm just very fortunate that I'm in the situation I am, that I get to go out there and run it. I got to thank God for all this great week that we've had down here. I've had a great week racing my dirt car and everything that we've been able to do. So just keep that Bass Pro Shop Chevy out front and we'll hold a pretty wheel.
Well, look back to Krista Voda, but a lot of people riding along with Austin Dillon tonight, Krista.
Absolutely, Hermie. It was 10 years ago on this day that we lost Dale Earnhardt. Tonight, a black number 3. The only number 3 you will see this weekend is driven by the grandson of Dale's owner, Richard Childress, and he will lead the field to green. But there's an even more direct link in the field tonight. The grandson of Dale Earnhardt, Jeffrey Earnhardt. He will be driving the number 1 truck. And the driver who won that fateful race 10 years ago today is in a truck at Daytona for the first time. That's 3 direct connections in the race tonight. Who is your racing hero? You may hear from him or her still to come. We're just getting warmed up. More from Daytona next. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series setup from Daytona is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World and the Good Sam RV Club. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, roadside assistance, and more. And by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Goodyear, more driven.
Anybody seen Ray's mustache? Ray, you're one of the best pit reporters there is, but you got a great face for radio.
A red-headed mustache, can't believe it. Hey, look, if you grow it back, I'll give you some of my hair gel, buddy.
What's changed? Have you lost weight? Something's a little different about you.
Well, I didn't notice anything different with Ray Dunlap, honestly.
You're definitely missing something this year, and I found it. I think you need to put this back on and make you look really good.
Thanks for the fashion tip.
Got a new style here with the mustache, bringing it back. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. It's hard to keep on my face, but it's working out.
Well, Krista, that's back to you. This is Austin Dillon. We got our new mustaches on, and Ray, you're out of style again, man. What can we say?
Thanks, Austin. And as you've noticed by now, something else is new for 2011. A new look for Ray Dunlap. For the first time in 31 years, he is sans stash.
You know, there have been a lot of changes in the Camping World Truck Series, but one thing that always remains the same is we all have facial hair. We've always had it, and we always will.
I'm just concerned about why y'all gave me this gray mustache. Do you know something that all those other people out there know too?
You guys are bad.
You do look good.
You're really, really
you
bad.
look good, buddy.
You're aerodynamically ready to go, Ray.
Thank you, DW.
Built for speed. Well, how competitive will 2011 be? Former champ Mike Skinner and Rick Crawford did not make this race. But you know, 8 years ago, Rick Crawford did turn in one of the most incredible finishes we have ever seen here at this track, and he is still talking about it today. See for yourself in the vault.
We see Rick Crawford out there running well.
Didn't have the fastest truck in the field, started way back in the pack.
And guys are just moving around a lot. I mean, you're seeing Rick Crawford start at 19th all the way up to 3rd now.
Really never whipped the horse. Made a showed it to whip a few times.
Pushing Rick Crawford.
There he is. Get that line moving. Let's go.
10 laps to go. We're going to start racing.
Keep your eyes on this.
You put yourself in position to win.
Rick Crawford on the low side. And here comes Terry Cook now on the high side.
Feel my truck just like accelerate off the corner.
The bottom line, here it comes.
Gonna get in the draft of Robert Presley. What does he do? Tries to block.
Presley dodging to the high side.
Made the move to the inside off turn 4.
Crawford goes down low. He tries to get pass as they're coming to the line.
Man, what a finish. It'll always stick.
It's Rick Crawford making the pass, and Crawford wins.
You realize what kind of finish this was? I have no idea. I just knew I'd won the race. Said, you know how close it was? I think I beat Robert Presley by about that far. He said, nope, you beat Travis Quapple by about that far. Travis, where was he at?
It's been pretty good for Travis Quapple here at Daytona. How about a third, a second, and a second? What do you got to do to make it just one better?
I don't know, man. I was at some hospitality earlier today, and I said I came off at turn 4 leading and second and a third, and I still haven't got the win yet. So it's just about making that right move at the right time, and we got a fast International Trucks Monaco RV Toyota tonight. So the right moves at the right time, some good pit calls. I think we'll be there at the end.
One championship for this guy, going after another one in 2011.
One of the stories to watch tonight, Joe Hannon-Long, first time at Daytona, top 5 qualifying spot. What is your expectations for the night, and what's your plans for the first few laps of this race?
Well, there's a lot of guys dropping back, so I'm just going to try to stay up there, and if they get past me, I'm just going to stay on that yellow line. If they come past me, they're going to have to come on the outside, that's for sure.
What is a good finish for you tonight, being this your first time at a place like Daytona? What would make you happy when this thing is all over?
Just finish in the top 15. These guys have brought an awesome truck to this racetrack. We just want to finish and do very well tonight.
This girl, Krista, is the real deal with a victory in the Snowball Derby, looking to make a big impression in the Truck Series here at Daytona.
Absolutely, Hermie. From an 18-year-old to driver number 18. You know, a lot of people paint Kyle Busch as the villain of our sport. Don't get me wrong, he hates to lose, but he does have a soft spot. During the offseason, Kyle received a letter from 12-year-old Kyle Savoy that even included the young man's allowance, $5, to help Kyle Busch follow his dream.
Dear Kyle Busch, my name is Kyle too. I am 12 years old and you are my favorite NASCAR driver. I am writing to you today because I was sad that you lost funding for your KVM truck team. I wanted help. I'm sending you my $5. That is my allowance from Mom and Dad. If a lot of other kids did that too, maybe we kids, your fans, could sponsor your truck. We could write our names on it or send our school pictures or something. Then you wouldn't have to give up on your dream. No one should have to give up on their dreams. Dreams are way too important. So that's it. Thank you for always trying your best. Your fan and friend forever, Kyle Savoy.
Kyle Savoy might be brave enough to ride along with Kyle Busch going shotgun. I'm not sure I'm going to, but how cool is this program? And then I guess my other question is, what'd you do with the $5?
Well, it's a really neat program. You know, I'm proud of the guys at Kyle Busch Motorsports and, you know, the marketing department and everybody that we've got. There's 2 guys, so it's a department, and I can count it as that. But, no, it's really gone well. You know, Kyle and the charitable offer that he gave us, you know, in the beginning of the year with his $5, we gave it to the Kyle Busch Foundation, so that's where we put the money, Ray. But, you know, with this deal and having it on board, riding shotgun with Kyle, it gives a chance for young guys all across America to take part of our little tradition here that we're going to start this year and run a deal with a kid that's going to be riding shotgun with Kyle Busch on the truck for a selected amount of races throughout the year. So we're excited about it. All our partners with Dollar General, Knott's Energy Drink, Toyota, M&M's, and Flexco, all those guys are pretty pumped up about it too. So it gives us all a reason to race and a reason to win.
Keep up the good work and good luck tonight. Kyle Busch in the 18 rolls off from the back of the field.
And that was just so cool to see the excitement in both Kyle's eyes. You know, Kyle Busch got married in the offseason, and I like his softer side. You know, someone else who is very excited to be here is standing by upstairs. Well, Mikey is in the field, so joining Rick Allen and Phil Parsons tonight, DW, and I know he loves the trucks, and we love having him with us. But Rick, what a great feel-good story to start off the season.
Yeah, great way to start off the 2011 season. But Daryl, I've got to ask you, is he going to lose his bad boy image by doing nice things with kids?
You know, it's funny because Dale Earnhardt used to do a lot of things like that away from the racetrack. He was very charitable away from the racetrack, but it would have ruined his image if anybody ever found out about it. So he always kept all those things on the quiet. But I love what Kyle's doing. It's a great program. These drivers, you know this, Phil, they have big hearts. We've all been blessed, and we've all been given a lot, and we'd like to give back. Every driver down there does, so I applaud that program. I think it's pretty cool.
Guys, you know, we had an incident in practice the other day when Kyle got into the back of Eric Almirola in the 51 truck. Rick Wren, the team manager for that team, said they were going to fix that truck for Eric Almirola for nothing.
That is pretty charitable.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Now, obviously, Kyle is going to be one of the feel-good stories here this season and in this race. What about Elliott Sadler, another guy coming into this race, and your brother is not in the booth because he is also in this race?
Well, big names show up for big races. So that tells you that the opening event here at Daytona, the first race of the year, is a big event. I look forward to this race more than any, really. I always anticipate this race more than any.
It should be a great one. Stay with us. Krista.
Yeah, we are already excited. There's so much electricity down here. We just can't wait to see what happens. And we've seen in the Cup races that having a partner makes all the difference. But we think these Rough Riders are going to punch their dance card in a whole different manner. You've got to stay tuned to find out. You know, this is the first points race of the year, and points is the currency that counts. We will hear from even more drivers. Stay tuned. You're watching the setup from Daytona. More to come here on Speed. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series setup from Daytona is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by ToyotaRacing.com, Sponsifire 3. Sponsifire is back, and this year the winner gets a visit from their favorite driver. Enter at ToyotaRacing.com. And brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. The trucks have only been racing here for just over a decade, 11 times, and we've had 10 different winners, meaning if you're in it, you have a chance to win it. Welcome back to the setup from Daytona. The drivers itching to get their season started, and that includes Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. You know, the Thor Sport organization is on an island, and it is no tropical oasis. They are most certainly not located in the race hub. But Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, and everyone associated with Thor Sport is ready to ice the competition.
Sandusky, I guess, to me, is like a lot of Midwestern towns. Cold in the winter, nice in the summer.
This place in the summer is absolutely awesome. In the winter, I'm not gonna lie, it's absolutely miserable. I'm from California, and this is ridiculous cold.
Since Sandusky is situated on Ohio's north coast, we have learned over the years to embrace the ice. A lot of ice.
A lot of people ask, what's it like being in Ohio? It's not like we're in Alaska, you know.
We start talking to new sponsors. They're like, we'll come down to Charlotte and visit. I go, well, hold on. We have to go to Sandusky, Ohio.
I don't remember anybody handing out a handbook that said you had to run a race team out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Geographically, we're actually closer to probably 2/3 of the racetracks than our competition. We get to the wind tunnel. We get all the technology. We go testing.
We've been called an anomaly. And a lot of people have asked, how do we do it?
I like it. I like being the odd guy out. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that's the same as everybody else. I want to prove that we can do it from somewhere else.
Thor Sport, which started racing in 1996, is the series' longest-running team.
but a lack of resources held them to one win in their first 12 years on the circuit.
I won't lie, when I got here, there were not a lot of people, and we didn't have a whole lot of race trucks.
I had never heard of some of the stuff we had before. We would reuse stuff. Now you throw the stuff away, and it's absurd to use again. We were doing it back then.
New equipment has molded the upstart team from Ohio into a bona fide contender.
3 to 5 years ago, when we went to the racetrack, our competition didn't look over their shoulder. They just kind of glanced at us. Now they're really looking over their shoulders saying, wow, we got to come to the track and we got to beat that 88 and 13 truck.
It's awesome to see what this race team has come from.
After finishing 3rd and 4th in points last year, it's easy to see where this team is headed. Despite the challenges of operating far from the heart of NASCAR, ThorSport is committed to gunning for the title and to its hometown.
ThorSport's not going anywhere. We're building a new 100,000 square foot facility. It's going to be state of the art. When it's done, you'll say, wow, this is a real race team.
We're definitely looking to win races and win a championship. That's the goal. There's nothing else but that.
If these folks were to win, we would just be so happy. It would just mean so much to the city of Sandusky.
Everything we do now is geared towards winning. This team is being built to go win a championship, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, I can tell you I was at Sandusky that day. It was pretty cold, but the ThorSport team was the hottest team at the end of 2010. Johnny, how do you get that momentum from the final 10 races last year to carry over to this year?
Well, I think it's a lot easier when you finish on a high note. Joe Shearer, all the guys at ThorSport, all the guys making the shop, everybody's working hard, and I'm more confident going into this season than I have been in a long time. And just Daytona's tough. You got to manage your expectations. We came here last year thinking we were gonna, what does Rocky say, eat lightning and crab thunder or whatever, but just all the expectations in the world, and we weren't, we got caught up in a wreck on the first lap. So tonight we're going to take a little different approach and try to be there at the end.
Brand new sponsor for Johnny Sauter with Safe Auto. Now let's hear from his teammate. He's with Hermie.
Well, his teammate is Matt Crafton, and you nose to tail with your teammate on the grid, but you've got to go to the back for a transmission change. Does that affect your outlook for tonight's race, or how do you get this thing back to the front?
Always got to be patient and be there at the end of the day. I mean, last year I rode around in the back and just waited till about 10 to go before we made our run. This Menards Herculiner Chevy Silverado, it's good all day in Grafton, so I mean, we're not really worried about getting back to the front. We'll get there whenever time comes, but I really believe we have a truck that's capable of winning today, so just got to roll the dice and be there at the end.
They finished 5th here last year. Krista?
Keep your eye on those two. And 2 years ago, Elliott Sadler was a few raindrops away from winning the Daytona 500. He will try to take the checkered flag here in a truck tonight. He is teamed up with the veteran Ron Hornaday, who is on a drive for 5 championships. That drive, and the season begins tonight. We are not done setting you up yet. I know that the drivers have arrived at their trucks because no one's standing by me anymore. They're standing around guys like Ricky Carmichael. We'll wrap things up under a full moon next.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series visits the Phoenix International Raceway. In years past, Phoenix has made champions out of many drivers. But this year, it will be setting the pace for the season. Who will lead the pack in 2011? Tune in to find out. Krista Boda hosts the setup starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.
That's next week, but plenty of action still on the Daytona docket. A great crowd on hand tonight. Race day here on Speed, and then the Daytona 500 on Fox, both on Sunday. And based on what we've seen, this could be the wildest one yet. But the only race these 36 drivers are concerned with is the one that sits right in front of them. Can Todd Bodine defend his championship? Will Ron Hornaday return to championship form? Or can Austin Dillon turn a poignant anniversary into a celebration by driving the number 3 in the victory lane? It all starts now.
I'm Marcus Lemonis from Camping World, and in 2011 there are lots of new exciting things, like the Good Sam Club. But the one thing you can count on for sure is the absolute best racing in NASCAR. Welcome to the 2011 Camping World Truck Series.
It's a new season, and everything gets reset. Reset to set again. To restore to zero. We reset paint schemes. We reset fire suits. We reset expectations. Rivalries. We reset attitudes. But most importantly, we reset points.
It's a new season, but I'm still a champion. Welcome to 2011.
America's greatest truck race comes to you from Daytona International Speedway. Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Nextera Energy Resources 250, presented on Speed by Goodyear. 2011 starts with a clean slate for everyone, whether you're an 18-year-old Florida native making your first ever start at Daytona or a 52-year-old four-time champion of the series. Tonight's race is the biggest of your life, because winning at Daytona puts you in an elite class that very few can say they belong. The pageantry from Daytona adds to the lore of the moment. And on that note, let's go trackside for tonight's invocation and national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the Mainland High School Air Force Junior ROTC Color Guard present our nation's colors. Please remain standing as the Executive Director of the Genesis Counseling Center, Dr. Tim McNeil, offers tonight's invocation.
Let us pray. Our God, we thank you for moon and stars, for lightning speed and man-made thunder. We pray for drivers and teams as they race toward the checkered flag. We pray that the spirit of competition may build character that will enable them to endure the season, to stretch forward, to reach new heights from sea to shining sea. Shalom and amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, performing our national anthem, representing the Seminole Tribe of Florida and Native Music Rocks, please welcome 12-year-old recording artist from Naples, Florida, Tori Osceola.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, let's hear it for 12-year-old Tori Osceola.
The time has come. The drivers are about to strap into their trucks. We are about to get underway with the 2011 Camping World Truck Series season, the first points race of the year, and it happens right here on Speed, the Motorsports Authority. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on Speed by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Goodyear, more driven. Brought to you in part by Camping World and the Good Sam RV Club. Everything for the new RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, roadside assistance, and more. And by ToyotaRacing.com, sponsor Fire 3. Spots of Fire is back, and this year the winner gets a visit from their favorite driver. Enter at ToyotaRacing.com. Welcome back to Daytona Beach, Florida. Let's go back to the grid and Chris DeVota for our race storylines.
What happens when you put NASCAR's Desperados on a new silky smooth surface? You are about to find out. Why should you watch this race? The 3 C's. This is classic Daytona. You are going to see more of the same. What about Chevy time? A Chevy has never won at Daytona, yet percentages are on their side. 9 in the top 10. Confidence, warranted or not, the new pavement makes drivers feel cocky. But is that a false sense of bravado? We will soon find out. And Rick, Phil, DW, I'm going to leave you with this thought. Max Pappas, who barely made this race, said, give me 20 laps and I will be up front. It's a chance at history, and I'm going to take it. Every driver is thinking that exact thought right now.
Thanks, Chris. Now, DW, are we going to see 2 trucks, nose to tail, making their way around this track?
I think it's a sense of false security. Krista talked about confidence. Don't be overconfident. These bumpers don't line up. I don't know, Phil. What do you think? You think these guys are going to work together tonight?
DW, I think they're going to work together, but not the way we've seen the Sprint Cup cars work together. They're going to work together in big packs. We're going to see 2 and 3 wide racing. Just like Krista said, classic Daytona is what we're going to see. These guys are going to be all over the racetrack on the apron, 3 wide, 4 wide, up against the fence. It will be great like it always is here.
And we do have a lot of teammates, obviously, in this field, but we don't expect to see them working as teammates on the racetrack. Everyone's going to be gunning for that checkered flag at the end of this race. Let's get it underway. We go down for tonight's command.
For the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome tonight's Grand Marshal, Manager of Renewables, Otter Tail Power, Harvey McMahon.
Drivers, start your engines.
Drivers are strapped in. The engines are fired. 36 trucks about to roll onto the 2.5-mile superspeedway.
Mike Wallace is going to win the inaugural Daytona 250. Robert Presley trying to hold on.
Timothy Peters is wild, coming up to the line. Side by side. Having a great time. Daytona style.
Look out, we got trouble.
Timothy Peters is going to win at Daytona. Cropper goes down.
It's Rick Cropper.
That's what I'm talking about. Truck racing. Great pictures and great memories of this race, and we're going to be making more memories tonight. It will be a memorable one. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tires that help save gas and pinch pennies inspires what we roll into yours. Fuel Max tires by Goodyear. More driven. Perfect weather for racing. We are under the moonlight as well as the lights here at Daytona International Speedway. 68 degrees and just a light breeze.
I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, a full moon always is an extra amount. It creates trouble, creates havoc. I don't know. What do you think?
I think we're going to be in good shape tonight, DW. Our starting grid is going to roll across the top of the screen. Austin Dillon continues his dominance in qualifying. This is the 3rd race in a row for Austin Dillon where he will bring the field to the green flag. And young James Busher will start on the outside. Take a look at our Goodyear track description of this super speedway.
DW, the numbers look the same. 31 degrees in the corners, 18 degrees in the trioval, but man, has this racetrack changed.
This racetrack now has so much grip. And the thing, Phil, that you got to remember, they're running as fast or faster through the trioval with 18 degrees as they are through the corners at 31 degrees. This trioval is very difficult.
We'll take a look at our CC's Pizza race analysis for tonight's race.
See, 36 trucks will start this race. We had a full 46 trucks here attempting to qualify for those 36 spots. 100 laps, 250 miles a purse, almost 700 grand in their pit window, DW, somewhere between 32 and 37 laps.
In the Camping World Truck Series, we like to get to know the drivers just a little bit better, and so we call it our Speed Spotlight. We'll shine a spotlight on a few different drivers. And Ray Dunlap, who's in your spotlight tonight?
Well, Rick, I think in 2011 we may have the best class of rookies that I've ever seen in this division. And a guy that's leading that class possibly, Parker Kligerman. He's driving the number 29 for Brad Keselowski. 2 years ago, Parker almost won the ARCA Series championship, but he didn't do much racing last year. This year, they hope to go after the title over here in trucks. He'd like to get the championship or Rookie of the Year. Hermie?
Thanks, Ray. I want to take a look at Nelson Piquet Jr. What a great opportunity he has this year to run the full season for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Now, he was very impressive in limited starts in 2010, but he comes into 2011 with an experienced crew chief in Chris Carrier. Now, he qualified second, but a broken left front shock caused him to get his time disallowed. He will start at the back of the pack, so it'll be fun to watch him make his way through the pack and see how he evolves in the Camping World Truck Series. Krista?
Johanna Long getting advice from her crew chief, Kevin Cowboy Starlin, as we speak. Johanna Long, the youngest competitor in this field, but she already has a big victory to her name. She won the Snowball Derby just over 2 months ago. She is on her way, and Kevin Cowboy Starlin told her to remember that this track is no different, and listen to this, than her home track, Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola. Okay, it's a little different, Phil.
Krista, I want to take a look at a very talented 19-year-old California driver, Cole Witt. He had 8 national championships in go-karts. He became a Red Bull Junior athlete at the age of 13. He was the youngest ever winner of the USAC Midget Championship back in 2008. He competed last year in the K&N East Series. He had 2 poles, 6 top 5 finishes in 10 starts, and he finished 4th in points. He was scheduled to run the full season for Turn 1 Motorsports. Unfortunately, not able to make the field here with his truck, so he jumps in Shane Seek's truck number 93, and he will start this race from the back of the pack, DW.
Phil, I'm going to look at Eric Almirola. This is going to got to go the rear of the field. His time was disallowed, but this man is making his 75th start here tonight. He's got 2 series wins, one at Michigan and one at Dover. He finished second last year in the points. Here's him and Kyle Busch getting together right out of the box in practice. Wrecked the truck, had some problems with it, didn't pass inspection, had to go to the rear of the field. He'll be running the full nationwide schedule for Dale Jr. this year. This guy's got some experience in all 3 series, 35 cups, 39 nationwide series, and 74 truck starts. He knows how to get to the front.
We will also have some great pictures to show you tonight. We're riding along with a few different drivers, one of those being Jennifer Jo Cobb in the Ford-sponsored onboard. Her best finish at this racetrack, 34th, looking to improve that tonight.
Let's take a look at our Toyota onboard of Kyle Busch. You know, every time Kyle Busch steps in a truck, he's a contender. He won the Owners' Championship last year. He will start his Dollar General Toyota from the 21st spot.
Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about why I love the 17, but the 17 is my man, and that's my number, and I'm pulling for Timothy Peters tonight, the defending champion of this race, and he told me, DW, going to make you proud.
He had the Toyota sponsor camera, the Funai sponsorship being carried by Michael Waltrip with his onboard, and of course, Michael Waltrip, a 2-time Daytona 500 winner.
Rick, let's see if we can talk to our broadcast partner. Hey, Mikey, Phil up in the speed booth. We miss you, man.
He must not miss us.
Mikey, you got a copy on us? We're up here in the speed booth. We miss you.
Yeah, you got ODW up there?
We do have him up here.
You know, between the 2 of us, we won 88 Cup races and 3 championships.
Yeah, how about 3 Daytona 500s?
Yeah, that too. Now we're going to try to win at the truck race. It's just been a really fun experience, me getting to drive this NASCAR.com Toyota, Vision Airlines Racing. They've just been really good to me, and I'm looking forward to trying this baby out.
Mikey, what would this win here tonight mean 10 years after you won your first Daytona 500 and the day that we'll all remember?
Well, it's important, Phil. I get a little bit emotional thinking about it, but good thing about having 500-600 horsepower under the hood, soon as you're mad at it, you'll forget all that and just go back to doing what you've always done, and that's just race your butt off. But it'd be very, very special to wind up in victory lane on February the 18th.
Well, we know you can do it, buddy. Give us a wave and have a good one.
Hello, it's Mike. Good to see you.
Good luck, buddy. We might not be able to see his eyes, but we'll definitely be able to watch his hands as he works his way around the 2.5-mile super speedway. It's time for our Walmart recipe for success. What will go into that recipe? Well, let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, lots of ingredients, Rick, and I think when you throw in the Daytona International Speedway, that's the real spice that makes a great recipe for success. You think about this racetrack and getting the season started, it doesn't get any better. It's the biggest race of the year for everybody, and in this series we've had 27 last lap passes. Guess what? 3 of them have happened right here at Daytona, including a year ago. You never know who's going to win this race. Just because someone's leading at the white flag doesn't mean they'll be the first one to the checker. Hermie?
Well, Ray, all week long in Speed Weeks, we've heard the talk of teammates. That's right. How can you help your teammate or partner with your teammate to get to victory lane? Now, a strong group of trucks here tonight comes out of the stable of Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Ron Hornaday, Elliott Sadler, Nelson Piquet Jr., all fast trucks. They talked about working together. Well, all 3 of those trucks have moved to the back of the pack. They will start this race at the tail end of the field, bide their time, and with about 10 to go, they say, try to make their way to the front. Then, Krista, how do they decide who's going for the victory?
That is the question, but Ricky Carmichael has all of the answers. He has more Daytona wins here than anyone, but that's on 2 wheels. Now he's on 4, and he is starting 4th in the number 4, and right in front of him, that's his teammate, James Busher. They have a recipe for success, Rick.
Thank you, Krista. 36 trucks now all bunched up, getting ready for 100 laps of excitement from Daytona International Speedway. DW, I want to hand the mic to you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, this is a great way to start the 2011 season up here doing the Nationwide Truck Series. Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go truck racing, boys and girls! Camping World, by the way.
2 by 2 across the start-finish line, working their way into turn number 1, kicking off the 2011 season.
A lot of Chevrolets bunched up front, only 1 Toyota in the top 10.
How early will we see strategy play out in the Camping World Truck Series? Will we see guys drop to the back to try to stay out of the potential big one?
Well, let's see if we can get through this first lap here, because last year, as you know, we didn't quite make that first lap. And these things are a handful. Low air pressure, first couple of laps, they really move around, particularly on the straightaway.
Hey, look at that truck on the outside, the second row there, outside of Ricky Carmichael. That's our buddy Michael Waltrip. Started in 11th, and look at him already battling for second.
Field making their way through the trial for the first time. The first lap at Daytona, led by James Busher in the 31. Ricky Carmichael right behind him in the 4. Austin Dillon in the 3. Tucked in on the low side of this pack. We're seeing 3 wide now as they work their way through 1 and 2.
Timothy Peters thought about going to the high side, making it 3 wide. Travis Quapple in the 5 truck, the yellow one, jumped inside of him, hung him out to dry.
See, there's such an urgency in this race. It's only 100 laps. You got to get it on. You got to get it done in a hurry.
How about Michael Waltrip in the 15? He had a push from the 32 of Brad Sweet. He's now battling side by side for second with the 4 of Ricky Carmichael.
You really have to be careful pushing on the back of these trucks. We saw it with Amarillo and those guys in practice. It doesn't work.
They continue 2 by 2 as they go through the tri-oval. Completing the second lap, but still James Busher hasn't been contested for the lead.
Well, Michael's trying. He's trying to side draft off those trucks on the inside line. He's got some great pushers behind him with Brad Sweet and the 23 of Jason White.
The truck races we've seen down here, they've been 2 by 2. But not side by side.
Nose to tail 2 by 2, just not door to door.
Now we're going to make it 3 wide here. Timothy Peters in the K&N truck pulls out to make it 3 wide.
So that outside line not able to catch up to the inside line. 3 wide. Look at that right in the middle. The 66 of Justin Marks. He had problems coming off of pit road to start this race, but he's got it going now.
We saw Timothy Peters make it 3 wide. He lost ground again. Twice he's tried it. It hasn't worked yet.
A little bit of spark you see every now and then. Some of these guys dip below that yellow line or get down on it. There's a transition there, and they're hitting their nose on that flat part of the apron.
The rules are you can't improve your position below the yellow line, but if you go down there, you're not going to get penalized if you don't pass someone.
Come to Daytona, you expect to see side-by-side racing? We've got it.
Right here in the Camping World Truck Series. Exactly what what we anticipated. Side-by-side racing.
How about this is the group in the back? You talk about different packs. These are the guys that are going to ride it out here for a little while. Wait till late in the race, like Matt Crafton did last year. He parlayed that into a top 5 finish. We've got several guys employing that same strategy.
Yeah, remember, back in 2005, Bobby Hamilton Jr. went all the way back. Or Bobby Hamilton Sr. went all the way to the back of the field, rode around there until the closing laps of this race, and was able to make a last lap pass on Jimmy Spencer to win the race.
There's Timothy Peters jumping in behind Justin Marks in that 66 truck.
Phil, Rick, the track everything handles good down here this time. One of the advantages that Bobby Sr. had back in the day was he could out-handle some of these guys through the corners. That's not a real big issue. It's all about speed this year.
Look at how tight these trucks are running around this racetrack, upwards of 195 miles an hour right now.
You know, in years past, you could make that outside groove work really easy, because this racetrack was so rough and handling was such an issue. These guys would have to back off the throttle. Now, James Busher is holding that thing on the floor every single inch around here.
Phil, the best friend you got is that yellow line. Keep it on that yellow line and make them go around you on the outside, but it's just very hard to get enough steam up going around the outside to do it. We saw it in the cup races, and we're seeing it here tonight.
Early on in this race, we're also seeing one team dominating. 1 and 2 right now is Turner Motorsports. Out in front, James Busher and Ricky Carmichael.
There's a good view from the Funai onboard of Michael Waltrip. There's Todd Bodine, two-time winner here at Daytona in his Valvoline Toyota on the inside.
And he's the only one to win at this racetrack twice.
Parker Klickerman's going to jump to the outside here. Todd's going to go with him. They're going to jump up in front of Michael and see if we can make that outside groove work.
Again, the bumpers don't line up perfectly in the Camping World Truck Series, and so you won't see that stuck to the back bumper of a truck look like we've seen in other series. You might see them bumping, though, as they go around the track. Parker Klickerman holding his own out there on the racetrack, currently in the 7th spot, Ray.
Rick, he's telling us he's just a little bit tight coming off of the corner in that number 29. The big question I had coming into tonight was, will anybody go with him? He's driving a Dodge, the only Ram in the field here tonight, and in practice that truck was fairly slow. He said he felt it would be great in the draft, but not so good in qualifying. But he's the only Dodge in the field tonight here at Daytona.
On an island, but Dodge has had success at Daytona already this week.
As Kurt Busch.
How about James Busher out in front of this field? He has led every lap since the drop of the green flag on the 2011 season. Sunday, the Great American Race kicks off with the biggest pre-race show on television, NASCAR Race Day. Get the inside track from the drivers before the Daytona 500. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot from Daytona. Sunday, 9 Eastern live on Speed. Holding on to the top spot at still the 31 of James Busher, Ricky Carmichael, Austin Dillon, Brad Sweet, Jason White. Your top 5 all held by Chevrolet. They have never won at this racetrack.
We have a bit of a breakaway of 12 trucks right now. Craig Gose started way back, and he's moved up into the 12th spot in that lead draft, but it's just about 6 or 8 truck lengths back to that next pack, led by Brendan Gaughan.
We saw Norm Benning on the apron, slow on the apron, so he's not slowing down the progress on the track. Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. What an impressive run so far for Brad Sweet right now in the 4th position in his 32 Great Clip Chevrolet. Now, he has got Cole Kane, the cousin of Casey Kane, spotting for him tonight. But also Casey Kane is on the spotter stand giving some advice to Brad Sweet as he drives this truck tonight. So getting a lot of experience tonight is Brad Sweet, and he's getting a lot of good advice from a lot of people, including Casey Kane tonight. Krista?
Thanks, Hermie. Remember the last time we were at a plate track, a super speedway? It was Talladega, and Chris Fontaine nearly pulled off the unbelievable, almost winning that race. He had such a strong run there. He comes back here with tons of momentum and confidence. He started 16th. He's currently running in the top 10 and getting a whole lot of help from former Truck Series champion Travis Kvapil. Ray?
Elliott Sadler's back in 30th right now, Krista, but I can tell you he's learning a lot on the racetrack. Said his truck's a little bit tight right now, but he has been watching that high line. Brendan Gaughan just went to the high side and actually pulled off a pass. It looked like not many people were going to be able to do that. You see Brendan there with a 3-truck draft now trying the higher side of the racetrack. Elliott's got his eye on it.
And Elliott Sadler won his first Camping World Truck Series race a year ago at Pocono. A guy who has won numerous races in this series, Brendan Gaughan, currently running in the 13th spot. Behind him, though, people are wondering, where's Kyle Busch? A guy who won 24 truck races. Well, Kyle Busch is kind of laying low. He's back in 18th right now in that 18 truck.
And watch these things snake down that back straightaway. I know that doesn't look very like not much happening, but these things are tail happy. They get really light on the back end as they go down that long back straightaway, particularly when someone is tucked right up under the back of you.
Got a glimpse of that 18. We're riding along with Kyle Busch and what he sees on the racetrack in front of him. There's Max Pappas in the 9 at Geico Toyota Tundra.
Kyle jumped to the inside around the 77 truck of Justin Lofton.
Travis Kvapil leading this smaller pack in that number 5, driving for Randy Moss Motorsports.
As you can see, about a half a dozen truck lengths behind Chris Fontaine, the 84 truck, who's at the tail end of that lead draft. Chris is running right now in the 10th spot.
And we keep talking about how much grip the track has and how good the tires are, and it's even better in the evening like this. There's just absolutely no sunshine on the track. Obviously, just a little moonbeam coming down tonight. That makes the truck run fast. That makes it have a lot of grip. It's going to make for some exciting racing when these guys figure out somebody needs to pull out and go.
A lot of grip on the racetrack right now, and that could be one of the strategies when we do get time for a pit stop. Will they change 4 tires? Will they change 2 tires? Will they change no tires and go with just fuel? With such a smooth surface, that strategy is definitely going to come into play. Stay with us. Speed Inside Deals is your one-stop shop for exclusive ticket offers for speed viewers. Speed Inside Deals packages range from specially priced general admission and children tickets to pit passes, driver and speed talent meet and greets, food and drink hospitality, and more. Be sure to check out the Speed Trackside Tavern and House of Speed ticket packages. If you're joining us at the Speed Stage in Daytona this weekend, visit speed.com/deals today. Guy having his own deal right now is James Buescher out in front.
What a great source for tickets, really. Anywhere you want to come and watch a NASCAR race, just visit our website, speedtv.com.
You know, Phil, right now it's just obvious. Everybody's afraid. Nobody wants to pull out a line right now because I think they know that if they did, with this long a train of trucks here, they would go straight to the back. So everybody's really just kind of going to school right now. It's not like they're not going to make some moves later on. Right now, they're kind of going to school on everybody.
Right now, we have 24 trucks essentially in the lead draft, and then that second draft is about 2 seconds behind them.
By the way, Rick, did I leave anybody out on the start of the race?
You covered them all.
I got them all, didn't I? I wanted to be sure I did at the start of the 2011 season.
Ray Dunlap.
Hey, Rick, I love the look of that leader out there. How about that Exide sponsorship on James Buescher's truck? You know, when you make a list of drivers that you think are on the cusp of getting their first win in this series, I would put James Buescher very high on that list. Twice he's finished second and been in position to win a number of races. Tonight very well may be his night. But how about Turner Motorsports coming to the trucks with 3 full-time teams this year? And Buescher believes that they're going to be a potent combination. If you drop back just a couple positions behind him, there is Austin Dillon in that number 3 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. His temperature is up to about 230 degrees, so his crew chief has told him peek out a little bit every once in a while. Let's try to get some air to the front end of that truck. Hermie?
Well, Ray, people are already starting to talk about when we're going to pit and who we're going to pit with. Jason White running in the top 5 in the 23 truck. His crew chief has been talking to Mike Hillman Jr., the crew chief for Todd Bodine in the 30 truck, who is running in 7th. They are both planning to pit on or about lap 30. Now, Mike Hillman Jr. said right now his truck is good. Todd's not saying much about it. He does not plan to take tires unless they have to put a full load of fuel in. If they do, he says they'll probably take right sides only. Krista?
Hermie, Travis Kvapil in that 5 truck, you saw him a few laps ago sort of try out the middle line and then drift to the back. He got on the radio and told his crew chief and team, nothing there, but I had to try. And then a voice got on the radio and said, you should have listened to your spotter about 4 laps ago. Of course, that was a spotter saying that.
And of course, the spotters around here very, very important on such a big racetrack when you've got to work with other drivers.
Well, when you're sitting there in that pack like that and you're running about 3/4 throttle, you think, man, I'm at this thing. I'm going to go around all these guys until you pull out and hit that wall of air, and then you start going backwards, and you say, roll, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
But we know if we have a few more trucks working together, we saw that outside line make some progress. Michael Waltrip was leading the charge. He had gotten all the way up to the 2nd spot, but then drifted back. So you're going to need help. Now the line works its way around Norm Benning in the 57. Norm going 2 laps down now.
James Busher didn't spend a whole lot of time away from that yellow line. After he got by Norm, he just dove back down to the bottom to the yellow line.
Yeah, a lot of times when you run up on lap traffic, it will separate you out. It'll move you around a little bit, and there's a chance to make a move, maybe make a pass, but not going to happen this lap.
Craig Ghost gets by. Now TJ Bell trying to work his way around that 57, and you see the 18 of Kyle Busch just behind.
There's TJ Bell right there.
Kyle's actually pushing TJ Bell, or at least giving him a little bit of a nudge.
I think Kyle's actually, this doesn't make a lot of sense because Kyle Busch and Patience don't usually go together, but he seems to be. He's up to 13th and just kind of riding along, picking one off every now and then.
3 wide back behind him. Again, trying to get by Norm Benning in the 57. You see him side by side now. Max Pappas in the 9 and Brendan Gaughan in that South Point number 62.
Right in front of Max Pappas, the 22 truck, is Joey Coulter making his debut. Had a great year last year in the ARCA Racing Series. Won a race. Justin Lofton there was a former champion a couple years ago in the ARCA Racing Series.
And again, you can see how well these things are handling because they can go 2 and 3 wide and they don't move all over the place like they did last year.
There's a 99 of Chad McCumbee. You see left of your screen coming up pit road. This is a little bit early, guys. Only 24 laps into this race. We talked about these guys being able to go at least 30 or 32.
Problems.
It's a hard left-hand turn.
There he goes. Goes behind the wall. Oh, Justin Marks is going to have problems as well. The hood pin on the left side is out, and because of the violent air that is getting, it's starting to tear the rest of the hood apart.
Yeah, he's going to have to come
He'll have to come to pit road right here.
Yeah, here he is. He's got to be very, very careful and watch his speed. He's got to be down before he gets to that first speed line here. Just about 5 or 6 more truck lengths. Right there.
The pin, I'm not sure
like
the
pin's
pin's out.
in.
I think that whatever it's mounted to, the brace that it's mounted to is broken.
They can use some of that X-Flex tape and maybe tape that thing down, get him back out. If this race goes green before the first round of pit stops, then it won't hurt him too bad.
The 2 trucks you saw running side by side were Timothy Peters and Brendan Gaughan. They were racing for the 18th spot. Take a look again at what happened to Justin Marks' hood.
Yeah, the brace, the bracket that runs out there for that hood pin to set on and the pin to go through to hold the hood down broke because the pin was in, and you can see they put the bear bond on there to get it. That should hold it down.
It's amazing when he didn't lose that hood, though.
It was.
The way that, and that air at 190 miles an hour, it's amazing what that stuff can do.
Yep.
We're closing in on our first pit stops, and it looks like it might be green flag pit stops. When James Busher decides it's time for him to come onto pit road, we're going to see things pick up very quickly.
Hope he turns his blinker on.
Just like the drop of the green flag, we were 2 by 2. That's about to happen again. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tires that help save gas and pinch pennies inspires what we roll into yours. Fuel Max tires by Goodyear. More driven. Packs of truck making their way onto pit road. Krista.
Michael Waltrip had planned to come in a couple of laps ago, but he wanted to find a partner to pit with. His plan was to pit with the 30. It's going to be fuel only. That's the call, reminding him to take care of his tires, but it's fuel only. Hermie?
The 30 truck of Todd Bodine on pit road. He pitted with Jason White. Todd Bodine taking 2 right side tires and filling up with Sunoco fuel. Fuel only for Jason White. Ray?
Down on this end, lots of pit stops happening. We see the number 9 of Max Pappas is in. They went with right side tires, fuel. We see the 29 leaving pits also, and we believe the leader will be in this time. Look for James Busher to roll off the racetrack.
James Busher making his way onto pit road now, Ray, leading our lead pack toward you. Krista.
Kyle Busch also coming in. They were looking for a partner as well, but they had planned to come in on this lap 30. The 84 of Chris Fontaine possibly going to pit with him, but he came in with Michael Waltrip and Todd Bodine. Ray? Hermie.
Krista, down on my end, they told James Busher, make sure you do not slide the tires because we're going fuel only on the number 31, now to Hermie.
Yeah, Ricky Carmichael came in, fuel only. Matt Crafton on pit road, fuel only. And Joey Coulter on pit road, fuel only for all three of those trucks.
The smooth surface really not wearing away these tires, so a lot of drivers opting just for fuel.
And I can't believe how long it takes to put fuel in these things. I mean, they're sitting there long enough fuel to actually change 4 tires if they wanted to.
You know, one thing surprised me about Todd Bodine's stop. Now, I understand it's not a big deal, but they kept the right side of the truck jacked up while they're putting fuel in it, and that puts the fuel to the left side of the truck. So could they pack that truck completely full even with the right side tipped up?
Well, you would think if you were just going to fuel only, you wanted to jack some the one side or the other, you do it on the left side.
Yeah.
Tilt that thing up to the left and put it in. So I'm not sure what that was all about.
You know, the possible reason for that is for most of the drivers, their signal to leave is when the jack drops. So they left that truck jacked up on the right side. So when the fuel got done, they dropped the jack and they turned them loose. But I agree with you guys. I think you could possibly get a little bit more fuel in if it's at least sitting on the ground level.
Yeah, level, or if it's up on the left side a little bit would make more sense. But you might be right about their what they were thinking.
Too fast exiting pit road, so the 07 of Donnie Neuenberger has to come back in and serve a penalty. Krista.
Jeffrey Earnhardt, the number 1 Chevrolet, in right now. They're waiting on fuel. It's a long stop, though, because they're waiting on the second can to come over the wall, but it is a fuel-only stop for the one. Now feels out of distance.
Brendan Gaughan, we see that 62 South Point Toyota Tundra now driving for the Germain Racing team. Working his way, trying to find a pack to run with.
Jason White leading this pack right here. Jason's being shown right now in the 5th position. Remember, this is
still holding on to the top spot.
That 23 truck of Jason White looks a lot like it did last year, but this is a brand new team formed by the Virginia Lottery winner Joe Dennett, and what a great showing for the first time out.
Yeah, what I'm interested to see here is if this big group can chase down those 4 guys up ahead of them up there. This lead crowd right here looks like this group right here, the second group, is able to inch closer and closer, and before too long everybody's going to be back in a single file again.
But what happens when they get there? Do you think someone will take that chance and go to the outside and try to get the lead?
It'll be the best time because you'll have momentum. This is the most momentum you're going to have.
I think so. That may be the thing. When you draft up to them, if you maybe went to the outside with the head of steam, you might be able to make a run on them, but I'm just not sure. It looks like everybody's happy riding on the bottom right now.
Get out in front, James Busher, Ricky Carmichael, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, and Jason White, according to our scoring monitor. That's your top 5. That's the pack we're looking at right now on the screen.
Remember, you guys were talking about Kyle Busch and not really making many moves and being very patient. Well, he's running 3rd right now. So
maybe the biggest move was on pit road.
He made his move on pit road.
See, that's what smart drivers do. Okay, I got a pretty good truck. Okay, I'm in a pretty good position. I got a good pit crew. Use all those elements. Don't just try to do it all yourself. Don't try to do it all as a driver. Use the pit crew to get in track position. Use that fast truck to get into position, and that's what he did.
I'm telling you guys, that second group was going to catch this front group. They ran over half a second faster that last time than the front 4 did.
Now they're going to have to work their way around Justin Marks in that 66. Remember the hood problems for that 66, the white truck on the bottom of the racetrack. He slowed down just a bit.
So theoretically, as they're closing in at a little bit faster pace, you would think when they got there they would just drive around them, right?
They would keep going. You think they're going to show patience once again and tack to the back?
I think their tongue's hanging out right now. They're going to be saying, "Woo, man, I'm glad I caught those guys."
Look how quick they're catching. Look at Jason White, how quick he's catching the truck.
And spotters right now are going to be telling, for example, Austin Dillon, hey, that pack is coming quickly behind you. Will he duck in behind? He stays out. It looks as though Jason White's going to see if this pack will keep going. And as soon as I say it, he drops right in line.
I think when you get there, you just hit a wall of air. And obviously we don't see it, but when you're out there in the vehicle, you feel it. So when you get there and you hit that wall of air, you stall out.
I think Jason had designs on maybe jumping to the outside and seeing if that momentum would take him by those 4 trucks. But as Darrell said, when he got close to the back of that truck that was running 4th, Austin Dillon, he said, I'm not so sure this is going to work.
Well, and the other possibility is to get hung out. I mean, if Jason White would have said, I think we could make our move and go by him, and the truck right behind him with Todd Bodine ducks in, well, then Jason White's a sitting duck.
Until it is important. Right now, you're just, again, we're thinking about strategy. So right now, it's not all that important to dive out there and take a chance on losing some spots. I say you just go to school. You kind of try to figure out, if I did dive out, is there anybody going to go with me? I don't know if these guys talk to each other on the radio.
Oh, trouble!
Man,
into the wall.
Keep coming.
Hard impact.
Tosses out.
Joey Coulter in the 22 truck.
That Chevy Silverado into the wall hard. Joey Coulter.
Blew a tire, Harold.
Yeah, he blew a tire.
Bottom. Let me get out of the racetrack. You're okay. Come on, everybody sees you. They're all bringing back down. They're all backing down.
Yeah, that thing he blew a tire right. Dead right.
Thank goodness for those safer barriers.
Can you believe that, Phil? If they can hit those walls today like they do and just come on in and get
we
out.
heard Joey. It didn't even knock the breath out of him.
Didn't knock the breath out of anything.
So our first caution, amazingly coming out on lap 37 of the 100 scheduled. James Busher still holding on to that top spot. Let's look back at what just took place.
And lucky for everybody
right
else.
Screen, that's the black number 22. Timothy Peters, the 17 right behind him. Boy, the timing was absolutely perfect. It just blew. He got out of the way. Timothy Peters was able just to keep his line and drive right on by. Here's another view. You see the piece of rubber fly around, undoubtedly ran over something. We really haven't had any tire issues whatsoever here. Goodyear brought such a great tire. That's why these guys haven't had to change them.
Yeah, and 30-odd laps. That we've seen guys run them 100 laps down here, so that's obviously cut it down.
Limping back to pit road and into the garage will be the 22 of Joey Coulter. His evening ending not the way he wanted it to. Welcome back. Nextera Energy Resources 250 kicking off the 2011 season from Daytona International Speedway. The top 5 stayed on the racetrack, but a lot of trucks came to pit road. Let's go to Ray Dunlap and get an update.
Well, Rick, I think this may be a really good move for some of the trucks that came to pit road here to put them in a guaranteed window of one more stop. The 2 of Elliott Sadler came down on lap 39. They went with right side tires, and there's Hornaday's number 33 Steakum Chevrolet. He did the exact same thing. So those guys getting right sides, they believe that this point will let them stop one more time and be in a good fuel window. Hermie?
Yeah, Ray, variant pit strategies in the middle part of pit road. Ricky Carmichael stayed on the racetrack. He is actually shown in P2 right now, second place. Jason White also stayed on the racetrack in the 23 truck. Todd Bodine did come down pit road, topped off with fuel only for Todd Bodine. Krista?
Hermie, a couple of different strategies for the 18 of Kyle Busch. They went with fuel only, while Johnny Sauter, 1 pit stall away, made a 4-tire change. Joe Scheer Jr. telling Johnny, we're good, we're okay. Johnny just a little bit up on the chip on the radio. It was a little bit longer stop than they wanted. They had a lightning fast stop, their first one.
I wouldn't want to put fuel in right now. As long as it's taking to fuel the truck, if you can get fuel in it now, if you do have to stop again, maybe you won't have to, and it would happen to be under green, you could get in and out of the pits a little bit quicker if you didn't have to sit there and put a whole 2 cans of gas in it.
Varying strategies. Closing in on the midway point of our first race. Stay with us here on Speed. Wednesday night, the most intense car building competition ever comes to Speed. Car Warriors, all-star builders take on small-town heroes in a 72-hour race to build one wicked ride. Big egos, big characters, big conflict. Car Warriors premieres Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on Speed. The lucky dog goes to Cole Witt in the 93 truck.
Aaron's is going to give Cole a chance to get his lap back. Hermie, what's going on with fuel down there on pit road?
Well, DW has mentioned a couple of times about the length of time it's taken to fuel these trucks on pit road. Well, some of our fans may not know NASCAR has mandated a new fueling system and dry brake system on these fuel cans. Now, I talked to some of the fuel men down here on pit road. Here's why it's taking so long. First of all, it takes about 7 seconds to dump a full can of fuel into these trucks. The old system last year, 5 seconds, so you lose 2 seconds per can. But they're also telling me the reason it's taking longer is you got a lot less room for error when you're switching the cans in the transition. This is such a big unit that you put in the side of the truck. They're losing an extra couple seconds getting this can, the second can in to top the truck off with fuel. So they eliminated the catch can, but they're taking a little bit longer to fuel these trucks on pit road, guys.
Thanks, Army.
And that will be across all 3 divisions of NASCAR, the Nationwide Series as well as the Sprint Cup Series.
You know, I talked earlier about Todd Bodine, and he kept the right side jacked up. They put right side tires on it, but they kept the jack underneath it while they were fueling it.
Yeah, well, that's normal there, Rick. Now, when you put tires on, it's normal to just keep it jacked up, like Phil said, because that's the signal to go.
Coming back to the start-finish line. Green flag back in the air. Quickly ducking behind that 31 is the 4 of Ricky Carmichael, trying to hold on to the second spot.
He got down there and leaves Jason White now leading that outside pack in the Gunbroker Chevrolet.
And you're going to see real quickly why nobody wanted to step out of line. That outside, I don't know. In the past, it's worked, but the track has so much grip down low now that you just can't afford to get out there. It bogs you. I guess there's just not enough momentum out there to carry you to the front.
Todd Bodine's going to come up on the back bumper of that 23 of Jason White, and those two look to move forward, see if they can get that outside line moving. Brendan Gaughan back there, teammate to the 30 of Todd Bodine.
Boy, Todd's got to be careful here pushing on that 23 truck. That's just a little edgy.
You can see that 23 truck dancing around a little bit.
See him moving around. Got to be careful doing that with these trucks. The bumpers, he'll lift that guy right up off the ground.
The outside line, Jason White started running even with the 50 of TJ Bell. We'll see if that's the same progress that we saw earlier as we ride along with Michael Waltrip.
Right in behind the 92 truck of Clay Rogers. There's Parker Kligerman, the 29 truck, the black truck out on the outside. There's a little bit of a bump draft to Clay Rogers.
It's okay to bump down the straightaway. That's not a problem, but you just don't want to get up under somebody in a turn.
Riding along with Michael, that gives us such a good perspective. Seeing the trucks from a bit further away, you don't see how much they jump around.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're riding along and you see up in front of you and you watch those trucks bouncing side to side at 195 miles an hour, it's intense out there.
Yeah, we call it a wiggle, but out there it's a whole lot more than a wiggle, I can tell you.
I mean, these guys are making it look really easy, but I'm telling you, it's really, really difficult to hold that line like James Butcher. Even with this great Goodyear tire, the new surface and so much grip, it's not easy what these guys are doing out there. Making it look easy, but it's not that easy.
You know, physically, this doesn't wear you out too much, but mentally, you get out of this thing tonight, you're going to have a headache because you have to concentrate. Now, here you go. This is the first time I've seen two guys really, really give each other a big, strong shove like we saw there.
And that looks like, DW, that may be the only way to make up any ground on that outside groove there.
You know what? Right there, Jason White could have moved in, but he realizes that Todd Bodine was working with him.
But see, Todd couldn't stay up there with Jason White in the 23. They fell back, and here goes that inside line. Todd says, let me try that with somebody else.
A little edgy right here. A couple teammates now running together. The 30 and the 62 up on the high side. Will they try to do a two-truck hookup and see if they can move around on the outside?
Elliott Sadler's going to jump to the middle there. He has his two teammates, Ron Hornaday and Nelson Piquet Jr. behind him. He had a little bit of a run, but once he got beside the 23, it stalled out, DW.
I love the way, though, the 23 and the 2 just changed positions. 23 went the inside, 2 went the outside. You want that spot, take it.
James Butcher has led all 45 laps that have been run. Tack on number 46.
I'm not saying that nobody is trying. These guys back in the field here are not trying. What they're doing, though, is they're not trying like they're going to try when it comes time.
when the laps run out.
They're not taking any chances right now. But when it comes time, they're going to get a little dicey. You can count on that.
Last time a driver led all the laps in a truck race was back in 1997, and it was Ron Hornaday who did it.
That was a long time ago. That's when we had a halftime break. How about this Liberty Tire Recycling Silverado here of TJ Bell? What a nice job he's doing right now, running in the 6th spot right behind Kyle Busch, DW.
Pretty impressive.
Right behind him, our winner from last year, that black truck, the 17 of Timothy Peters, and then Miguel Paludo, Another rookie driver here made a start last week in the ARCA race to get some experience here for this truck race.
They are lined up all the way back to the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. It's James Busher out in front of this field. Can he stay there? Does he have people that will work with him? That's the big question here at Daytona. Speed's coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color, Flip Forward, and by Napa. Napa Know-How.
Rick, Phil, 28 trucks on the lead lap, and there they all are right there.
You know, DW, we talked about those guys that employed that strategy of staying back at the back of the pack to try to stay out of trouble. I'm not sure on this racetrack in 2011 that strategy will work anymore. Matt Cracker did it last year, parlayed that into a top 5. I'm not sure you can do it anymore.
You give me the bottom of that yellow line, and you can go wherever you want to.
Really, pit strategy is going to be what could
very well be
very well win this race tonight.
You're right, Rick, and that's how some of these guys got up there. Kyle Busch got up there by some good pit strategy. We got to see where it goes. Ray, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, Darrell, what's interesting down here listening to these teams, many guys talking about whether or not they will change tires on the next pit stop. And a lot of that just depends on if we get a caution and when it comes. But quite a few guys saying these tires could last all night. You could go without even changing tires. A few people on my end saying rights on the next pit stop because we'll need that much fuel.
You know, guys, what I think I would do is if I have to put a full load of fuel in, I know it's going to take 14, 15 seconds, I'm going to change right sides the first time. The next time, if it goes a full fuel run, then I'm going to change left sides, and then I'm done. I don't have to worry about it anymore.
I normally, and that's not a bad strategy, but I just don't see why you even want to take a chance on leaving a lug nut off or anything. These tires will run 100 laps. They run 100+ laps down here in testing. It's cool at night. Stick some fuel in her and go and leave the tires alone. Safer.
Take a look at the 30 and the 2. Elliott Sadler and the 2 on the inside. Todd Bodine in that 30. Is that side drafting right there? Or is that bumping?
I think Todd would have liked to got down in between those trucks, but by the time he started to make the move down there, Elliott was there, so he was going to try to side draft off him.
Sometimes it's a game of chicken. You know, you make a little move over on that guy and you say, holy cow, he's going to run over me, and you might lift a little bit, or you might give him a little bit of room. Uh-oh, what was that?
We've got some sheet metal flying off of a race truck up into the air, but in the
debris, pile on your bumper.
Side of the confines of the catch fence. So the caution comes out for the second time.
Wonder where that came from.
Looks like it looked like a deck lid flew off of a truck.
We've completed 53 laps. This will be 54 this time. They cannot make it the rest of the way if they stop now.
Thought maybe it was a hood off of that truck we saw in the pits earlier.
Truck.
But let's see.
Right here, it looked like the fourth truck back on the outside.
That's Chris Eccleston right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you see a piece of the bed cover gone there.
Gone.
Yeah. That's not unusual to see that happen. There's a lot of pressure back in there.
So that's Donnie Neuenberger with part of his truck missing.
Plus, they got a new fin back there, too. There's a fin that runs along the edge of the bed there, a lot like a cup car that is new to these trucks this year. You can see it down on the inside of the 84 truck, that blue fin that runs across the back of the bed there.
I think it's a good strategy to come on down pit road right now that just buys you some more time. Again, you cannot make it the rest of the way from here, but at least it may prevent you from having to stop under green.
Now, Donnie Neuenberger is going to have to come onto pit road, and they'll have to cover that up. He can't race without that being there, at least covered. So they'll have to either put a piece of sheet metal there and tape it down, or sometimes they've tried to put a big piece of tape on it, but it won't stay.
Yeah, you know, and this is kind of good news for a lot of guys, because restarts are when you can make some passes. And so we're going to double up here, and, you know, all of a sudden you got a new dancing partner, and maybe he's a little more interested in moving to the outside and trying to pass some people. So this will be interesting to see how it shakes out.
These top 4 trucks here last pitted on lap number 31. Yeah. They're 2/3 of the way through a fuel run, so they have to come.
They got to come.
I think everybody has to come. DW.
I think everybody will be on pit road.
Again, it's been James Busher out in front since the very drop of the green flag. He led the first lap, and then every lap after that. We have completed 54. We're about to complete our 55th lap. Let's go to Krista.
Kyle Busch came on the radio and said to Eric Phillips, his crew chief, "Are we coming?" Yes. And then one word came on the radio. It was tires. That's the plan for the 18 to do 4 tire stops here on this one on lap 55. Hermie?
Yeah, Krista, Ricky Carmichael is in for fuel only and a wedge adjustment. A little bit snug for Ricky Carmichael, but a little bit, take some wedge out, Ray.
James Buescher goes fuel only. He is not going to be the first one off pit road. The 17 of Timothy Peters will beat him in another truck. So Buescher, who has led every lap, will roll off third. He has secured 2 bonus points for leading the most laps.
Aaron's lucky dog goes to Justin Lofton in the 77, so he will get a lap back. The biggest race in NASCAR calls for the biggest post-race show on television. Tune in as John, Kenny, and Kyle break down all the action from the Great American Race and hear from the Daytona 500 winner moments after he hoists the Harley J. Earl trophy. NASCAR Victory Lane from Daytona, Sunday 9 Eastern on Speed. And so we have a new leader at Daytona. It is last year's winner. Timothy Peters in the 17 is now in front of the field as Randy Kaiser is going to take that pace truck, make a hard left turn, head on to pit road, put the field in the hands of Timothy Peters and Ricky Carmichael on the outside once again. We'll see if Ricky uses the same strategy, tries to duck right in behind that 17 of Timothy Peters on the start of the race. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway.
Looked like they orchestrated that pretty darn good.
Yeah, Ricky's been able to do that the last 2 restarts.
31 with you.
First behind his teammate James Buescher, that time behind Timothy Peters.
Yeah, and really you can do that if you let that guy get just a little bit of jump, and then you can just hopefully there'll be a hole there to fall down in, and it worked out real well for him both times.
TJ Bell out in front of the second line, and he gets hung to dry now.
Mikey's up in a good spot.
Mikey keeps inching forward. He's getting closer to the front all the time.
Right now, right in the 4th position.
Okay, well, what we got to do is, if we decide to do it, we got to make sure he goes with us. And the 3 has got to, you know, he's got to be a part of it too. Well, he's not there. It's the 15.
Little strategy.
They're
Ricky
already
Carmichael's
talking about
crew
it.
chief
All right.
spotter.
It's starting to get a little antsy. That's what happens as the thing runs down. It gets closer to the latter part of the race. Everybody gets a little antsy. They start saying, I got to make a move. I got to figure out what I'm going to do.
Speaking of antsy, Ray, I know you're getting antsy.
Oh, baby, it's starting to get exciting down here on this end. Lots of guys talking about who you're going to go with. And it was intentional for James Buescher in that Exide Chevrolet to leave a little gap and let his teammate Ricky Carmichael come down from the high line. He was up there with TJ Bell, and they didn't believe the 50 was going to get a great start, so they let the 4 in. Buescher says, I believe my truck's good enough to go back to the front. Hermie?
Yeah, Ray, Timothy Peters out front, a good pit stop, fuel only, and his crew chief, Butch Hilton, a lot of experience, told Timothy Peters, last year's winner, stay on that yellow line, do not leave it. Also updated 23 of Jason White. He slid all 4 tires coming into his pit stop, so he came back again for a second time and put 4 tires on the 23 truck.
So Timothy Peters hugging the yellow line now, the double yellow line on the left side of this racetrack, and you're seeing Kyle Busch dropping back once again.
He's losing a bunch of positions.
Boy,
about the entire field going by him.
You get out there like that all by yourself, it looks like your engine quits running.
There's
Todd Bodine move out of line.
Going to jump out in front of TJ Bell. Remember, TJ restarted this race in the 4th spot. Outside the line didn't go. Right now he's being shown in 10th, and now he's hung out 3rd groove.
Trying to go by Miguel Paludo and that number 7 teammate to our race leader, Timothy Peters.
This is the best chance for this outside line that I've seen. Bodine, Hornaday, Elliott Sadler.
Yep,
got Brandon in there. This is Brendan in there. This is a pretty good group right here. If you can go up the outside, they ought to be able to do it.
TJ Bell.
One of the teammates, one of the Turner Motorsports teammates right now running 2nd and 3rd, Carmichael and Buescher. When are they going to try to make their move and shuck Timothy Peters?
Boy, you can see Todd Bodine. Now, he is not bashful about leaning on that guy on the inside, trying to shake him up and get a little bit of an advantage, a little side draft off of him.
We're going to have to see at least one more pit stop. So would you try to make a move now to see if you can get a 4, a 5, or a 6 truck pack moving on the outside to see if they can go by?
Look at these things wobbling through here. Yeah, you'll do. I think it's that point. I mean, we're 40 laps to go, 39. You got to start thinking strategy, man. You got to start. How am I going to get there?
We're only going to have one more pit stop, so you're only going to be able to use so much pit strategy. You're only going to be able to gain so many spots. Yes, you can come and do fuel only because you took tires last time, but there's no guarantee that you're going to beat a bunch of people out of the pits. You're going to have to make something happen.
I'm not so sure if I had a caution or 2 or 3 laps in here that I'd even come to pit road. It's a long way, but I think you might be able to stretch it if you had to.
Potentially staying out and stretching it on fuel, winning the Daytona 250 race by fuel mileage, possibly.
Right there, that's 45 laps from here, even with a few caution laps. That's going to really be stretching it.
It would, but every time I've always told Larry McReynolds, don't ever say never, because somebody will always fool you.
Remember, now these trucks have about an 18-gallon fuel cell. Probably pick up about 18.5 gallons, and this is the new E15 fuel, which everyone tells me is probably 3 to 5% less fuel mileage than the old fuel.
Good point, Phil. I'd forgotten about the E15, and they do burn. It does burn a little more fuel.
Ray Dunlap.
Borderline.
Guys, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Austin Dillon's situation down there on the racetrack. When he came in for this last round of pit stops, he put right side tires on. Most of the trucks down on my end only went with fuel. But before the race, Grandpa Richard Childress got on and he said, listen, boy, we're going to stay off the radio tonight and let you guys have it. That didn't work out so good. Richard and Austin's dad, Mike Dillon, have been on coaching him all the way around the racetrack. Krista?
Ray, not too many guys on my end took tires either, except for Travis Quapple, and we documented Kyle Busch, a 4-tire stop. And he drifted back. He's not as concerned with the fact that he is running in the back as he is with who else is running back there. Who does he have to partner up with? His spotter, Eddie DeHaan, told him you've got the 81. That's who's sucking up to him now, the 81 of David Starr. He also said you'll be okay. You've got the 88 of Matt Crafton and the 51, Eric Almirola.
I'm not so sure he's not in a really good spot. He's got enough room here that when this crowd up here in front of him wads up, he might be able to get woed up and not get into it, because there's some action getting ready to happen right here. Trust me.
3 wide, that'll cause it.
Well, again, it's like the sand in an hourglass, and it's running out, and the heart rate's going up, and everybody's losing patience.
Top 3, Timothy Peters, Ricky Carmichael, James Buescher. Then it's Michael Waltrip and Brad Sweet rounding out our top 5. Again, Chevrolet has never won in the 11 previous races for the Camping World Trucks at Daytona.
I think Ron Hornaday, the 33 truck on the outside, is having a bit of a problem. Ray, what's going on with the 33?
Phil, I'm not quite sure, but the last time Hornaday came by here, his left front rotor was glowing bright red, and you hardly ever use the brake here. I'm not sure. Hornaday hasn't said anything on the radio why he's dropping to the back, but boy, he had some really bright rotors the last time down the front stretch.
Ray, I think one of the things that all these guys have talked about down here all week long is dragging the brake. In other words, trying to keep a little pressure on the brakes so the guy behind you can shove you. And Todd Bodine and he were really working hard together, and I think maybe Hornaday was dragging the brake a little bit.
There goes that hood.
Up, and there goes the hood.
The hood in front of the windshield for Justin Marks, and he is into the outside wall. The caution will come out once again.
I'm amazed it lasted as long as it did.
That's a shame.
An unbelievable tough night for Justin Marks when all of the other trucks fired up. His didn't. And then he has problems with the hood pins on his truck, where he has to have the Bondo put on, or the Barabon put on to keep that hood down, and now it finally gave way.
There's another viewer. There he is. And Brendan Gaughan had committed to the high side. He's going to follow him. But Brendan may have made contact with the outside wall. Maybe he didn't.
I don't think he did.
That's going to get us in our window, though. We're going to complete 66 laps right here. Pit road is closed this time.
Justin Marks will pull that truck onto the apron and then into the garage. A lot of damage to the right side. A tough ending for Justin Marks tonight. Pit stops coming up, and they're pivotal. Coming on to pit road. This will be the final stop of the race, more than likely. Krista.
You see Michael Waltrip coming in the bottom of your screen. Fuel only, the call for Michael Waltrip. Hermie?
Timothy Peters coming to the attention of Butch Hilton and crew. 5 seconds worth of fuel is the call from the 17. Ray?
They're only going to need about 3 seconds on the Exide Chevrolet. Milan Rudinovic stuffs it in there. Buscher will pull out, but it looks like James came in third, and he's going to go out on pit road fourth. They lost a spot here to Fueling.
Brad Sweet in the 32 looked like he was going to win the race off pit road, but he had equipment with him out of the box. It's time for Just for Men Live Forward. And we want to take a look at our next race, Phoenix International Raceway, the Lucas Oil 150.
As you can see, the 2000 winner was Clint Boyer. That's 3 in a row for KHI at Phoenix, going for 4.
Just for Men hair color, Live Forward. Moving forward, in front of this field, the 92 of Clay Rogers, Ricky Carmichael in the 4. Back underway at Daytona.
Ricky's not going to have room, Rick, to get in there this time.
Couldn't find that hole this time, but I think with Dylan pushing him, I'm not so sure they might be able to get past the 92 there of Rogers.
Remember the initial start, James Buscher went from the outside and took the lead.
He's got to make sure that the guy pushing him behind can clear. Otherwise, Dan, look at this.
Here they go. They all
3 trucks jumped down to the bottom line.
As soon as they got a little gap on that 92, they went to the bottom.
We got action picking up here, boys.
Here's the 3-wide racing we were talking about.
3 wide as they're working through 3 and 4. Brendan Gaughan shoved out to the outside by that 50 of TJ Bell.
Well, this is your best bet right here. You got to make some moves right now because this is the best shot you got at getting by people.
Little momentum now on the outside. Elliott Sadler leading that outside group. Pulls up beside Austin Dillon.
Here comes Elliott Sadler battling for the lead.
So that's what I tell you. You never know what these guys back in there are holding until it comes time.
Clear.
He's clear. His help is not right now. Elliott Sadler decides not to duck down to the bottom line.
Where does outside line come from, DW?
Well, you got some good trucks out there. The 31, we know he's fast. There's Michael. You got some guys out there that know what they're doing. And
so now TJ Bell gets hung out on the outside.
He's got a good pusher though in Todd Bodine. Ron Hornaday, the 33 right behind him.
93 of
course. They're getting tight there.
Oh baby. Oh baby.
Trying to do the side draft now as they close in on that inside line.
I think they lost the momentum. I think that's it for the outside line.
Elliott Sadler out in front of this field now. James Buscher pushing right behind him, and 2-time Daytona 500 winner Michael Waltrip running third.
Michael just keeps inching a little closer to the front all the time.
How soon will the strategy between spotters start playing into this? Will you go if I go?
Oh, they're up there making deals right now, buddy, and they're talking to each other. What are you going to do? Really, the first question is, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do, and when do you want to do it? As we have just 29 laps of racing remaining.
Oh, yeah, we got to run another 10 or so laps off here before we really get too crazy.
I don't think James Buscher right now running second, even if he has Michael lined up with him to go. I don't think they can take a chance of pulling out a line, because if they don't make it, they're going to go backwards.
I tell you, Todd Bodine is wearing the side out of everybody he gets alongside of. He just keeps diving down on the inside, or next to the truck on the inside, trying to get a little side draft off of him. See that how he's doing? He's forcing guys over. He's trying to force them over enough to get in line.
Chris Devoto.
Want to update you on Kyle Busch. We haven't seen a lot of 4-tire changes, definitely not 2 stops in a row, but Kyle felt like one of his tires was out of balance, so they had to come back in for 4 tires on that last stop. So now he's trying to get ahead of steam from teammates Johnny Sauter and Matt Crafton. They just came on the radio and said, where's Almirola? I need a Toyota. I don't care if he wants to push or if he wants me to push him. Ray?
Jeff Dickerson is the spotter for James Buscher in that number 31 Exide machine, and they have been communicating back and forth with the 15. Buscher believes that he and Michael are the tag team that it'll take to roll around that 2. They've been talking. They said, Mikey, are you with me? And Mikey says, at least till turn 4.
Yeah, I'm almost with you. I'm pretty much with you. I'm kind of with you.
Another one of Buscher's teammates, Ricky Carmichael, right behind Michael now. So if those 3 trucks would pull out, I believe they would stand a chance of getting by that leader, Elliott Sadler.
Every race we've seen down here so far, there's been a pass from turn 4 to the start-finish line. Michael knows that. He finished third in his 150 yesterday. So I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing.
I remember trying to get Travis Kvapil to win here as he came off the turn 4 and looked like he had the lead that no one was. Travis Kvapil involved in this one. He gets sideways, and now they pile up behind him.
Hornaday's in it. Brendan Gaughan is in it.
Looks like Todd Bodine potentially in it as well.
Look at all these.
They're not
trucks in
done
the back.
wrecking yet.
Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, Max Pappas, all in this. TJ Bell had such a good run going. He's in it.
Todd Bodine, a lot of damage to that race truck. The 4th caution comes out, and it is the big one.
Heard somebody's radio, and I believe it might have been Travis Kvapil who said he lost a tire.
Travis was right in front of this group.
Not sure. It looked like the left front may have been down.
There's Johanna Long.
Look at this. Damage to the 13 of Johnny Sauter.
There's got to be.
Neuenberger in the 07 also has damage.
15 trucks or more involved in that whole mess.
There's Matt Crafton. Doesn't look like a great deal of damage, but certainly involved in this.
I think the back of his truck is knocked. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. The back of his is hurt. That's Todd Bodine there. He's definitely killed.
There's the Tire Kingdom Toyota with a lot of damage. Justin Lofton following him as they make their way towards pit road.
The 4th one is the costly caution of the night.
Let's see what happens here, guys. They're getting mighty racy. I know that back in here trying to get position. You're getting a little wadded up here.
Watch the 5 right there.
Oh, yeah, he did. Looked like he definitely had a tire going down as he headed up the track right in front of oncoming trucks. That 30 was on the outside, 33. Got them all.
Yeah, Jason White was involved on that. Didn't see him the first go round. Craig Ghost as well. There's Nelson Piquet Jr. I believe he's going to avoid it. And then the aftermath. Then they start wrecking behind him with Max and Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton all getting involved.
When you're this close together, yeah, you see Kvapil's truck just take off.
And a head of steam.
That might have been a left rear tire that went down.
Well, he had a left front down, and it didn't appear that the rights were. It appeared the rights were okay.
Yeah, the left rear looked like it had quarter panel damage even before it got to the outside wall.
Might have gotten into something, Phil, and knocked a piece of sheet, a fender or something in and cut that tire down.
Take a look real time.
Hold your breath.
Keep your eye on the 5.
Pretty crazy right here. 5's that yellow truck right there, about 5th or 6th back. Takes off up the hill and collects all these oncoming trucks. You're just along for the ride. You can't see. You don't know where everybody is. You see Crafton back here. He gets run into by the 20.
Johanna Long involved. There's Johnny Sauter. Here's another view.
Anybody from the 5 on back looks like they were potentially in this thing with some damage.
The lucky ones. Guys like Parker Kligerman in the 29.
How about Chris Fontaine at 84 getting by? Nice job.
Slip by, yeah.
Take a look from up above.
And yeah, again, just watch the yellow truck there.
This is the aftermath.
Everything happening in front of them. They're checking up.
Oh, my gosh.
Donnie Neuenberger got in the back of Johanna Long, pushed her into the 88 of Matt Crafton. That's what caught all these other trucks in this. There's Max Pappas. He obviously got involved as well.
And these guys back here had it. They would have missed that wreck if it weren't for Neuenberger in the 07. He just pushed them. He came in there wide open.
And just about got all the way to the 18 of Kyle Busch. Well, that's definitely going to change the complexion of this race.
Oh, yeah. Now we may see 2 lines because they're going to be a lot shorter than they were.
Sledgehammers coming out. He needs a bigger hammer.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have to get up on there and jump up and down. There you go. Get up on that thing.
Travis Kvapil, tire problems send him sideways, and then they pile up behind him. Not only the first pack, but the second pack involved as well. Numerous trucks. But now Elliott Sadler in the driver's seat. Welcome back. Nextera Energy Resources 250, presented on speed by Goodyear. Under our 4th caution, and it was the big one. 13 trucks involved in this incident.
You're going to see right up here, Travis Kvapil. He's going to have trouble. All of a sudden, he goes down into turn 3. He actually had his hand out the window.
He was trying to motion,
he was actually trying to tell him, but he goes up right in front of these outside trucks that were in the outside line. Todd Bodine being one of them. There's Brendan Gaughan. But what's amazing to me, Donnie Neuenberg back here in the 07. Let's watch this one more time. Here we go. Goes up, and of course you can see this outside line. They got nowhere to go.
Top out irons right there has absolutely nowhere to go. None of these guys have anywhere to go. Some guys, watch the 93 of Colwitt, the 84 get by.
Good job.
Nice job by both of those drivers.
Now watch. Here's Donnie Neuenberg back here in the 07. These cats up here, all these guys are already slowing down. They see what's happened. They got it made. Donnie Neuenberg, he could not have had any brakes. Look, he hits that one. He hits that one. He just keeps pushing these guys.
It looked like a train derailing there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He just kept going and going and going.
I think Kyle Busch's spotter told him, you better gas it up because there's a train coming behind you that could take you out. So he got lucky, wasn't involved, and still has a truck that doesn't have a scratch on it. Great crowd on hand to watch the final 22 laps from Daytona. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything we've learned making tires that help save gas and pinch pennies inspires what we roll into yours. Fuel Max tires by Goodyear. More driven. Let's go down to Chris Kubota.
Drivers just starting to exit the care center. Ron Hornaday, the first out. And I know this was sort of, we talked about the calm before the storm. We always know this can happen at Daytona, but what exactly happened?
Well, I was only Todd in front of me at one time, and I was just pushing him up there. But I feel sorry for the Steakham Chevrolet and KHI. I mean, all we want to do is finish. We stopped, jumped to the back there and ride around, and it was time to go. And Elliott was up there. I figured he'd come in. He didn't come in, so I was going to go back up there and try to help him, and he already ducked down. So just looked like somebody shot up in front of Todd, and I was already up on him. So
I think we're seeing it here too. That was a blown tire. It looked like from the 5 of Quapple.
Well, that's what you get around here, you know. Todd was running everybody pretty close, so he might have got into him earlier and cut the tire. But it's Daytona, and I hate to see it, man. It's a bummer for everybody on this team. I mean, they've been working hard, and we'll get it back out there, hopefully.
Thanks, Ron.
2 years in a row, Ron Hornaday got crashed out here at Daytona.
See, that was some of that. He mentioned Todd, and that's something I kept watching. Todd kept leaning on those guys down on the inside. I don't know if he ever made any contact with Quapple or not, but I know he was pushing him close.
Speaking of pushing, Nelson Piquet Jr. looks like he's going to need a push to get back to pit road, and we go back there to Chris Kubota.
Jason White also exiting the care center. And Jason, I know that Daytona, one of your favorite places. You're always strong here. You have a smile on your face, but I'm sure that's not what your emotions and feelings are right now.
It's definitely tough. We had a great truck. Got back there. Just the way it goes at Daytona sometimes. You know, we had a great truck. Gunbroker.com. This is a great team, and just got piled up. Everybody wrecked there, and just nowhere to go. So we'll get them next week.
Thanks, Jason.
It's tough for Jason. We always smile and such a great attitude and such high expectations coming into the season. He really felt like this was his chance to get his first win here. New team, Joe Danette, we mentioned that before. He fellow that won the Virginia Lottery, started Loves Racing, started a Camping World Truck Series team, tabbed Jason, brought Gunbroker along, and had a great run going. Was running up in the top 10.
Yeah, and you can't even begin to explain the disappointment. You're running good. You come down here with all the expectation, the highest hopes that you can have, running up there in the front pretty well, and then be taken out by not your own fault.
And we've got to remember, this is the Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl. This is the biggest race of the year. It just happens to come at the first.
Ray Dunlap.
Guys, I'm interested in what the drivers up top think about strategy and what you would do at the end of this race. I've heard multiple different things down here on the radio. On Elliott Sadler's radio, they said, well, I think you need to go with about 2 to go, get to the front and hold the bottom line. I heard Austin Dillon's radio. They were talking about you need to wait till you come off turn 4 before you even begin to make your move in case you stall out. So I'm not sure. What do you guys think is going to be the proper way to get to the front? Because we know it's going to be crazy coming off 4 on that last lap.
Yeah, right now the 31 to 4 are they're perfectly matched up here, teammates, and then you got Michael behind Elliott Sadler. Elliott doesn't have to get to the lead. He's going to be in the lead. The question is, can he and Michael hold off the 4 and the 31?
That's where I think I want to be. I want to be next to that yellow line on the last lap in the lead.
Appears that way.
We're about to get some answers as the green flag back in the air. 19 laps of racing to go.
Remember, James Buescher was able to grab the lead at the very start of this race from Austin Dillon from the outside.
Not going to work this time as Elliott Sadler got a great restart. Michael Waltrip tucked in behind him in the 15. Busher on the outside in that 31, and right behind him his teammate in the 4, Ricky Carmichael.
You got two guys leading the race here right now, Elliott Sadler and Michael Waltrip. They know this joint. They know how to get around here. They're going to be mighty hard to shake out of the lead, even though the 31 and the 4 have fast trucks. That outside just is not going to get it done.
Michael's won 2 Daytona 500s. Elliott Sadler's finished second in the Daytona 500. They know what they're doing in this racetrack.
Elliott Sadler was within just a few hundred feet of winning here in 09, and it started raining.
That's not going to happen tonight, by the way, folks.
No. We have a beautiful full moon.
No precipitation anticipated for the finish of this one. 18 laps remaining. Again out front, Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip runs second, Austin Dillon, James Busher, Timothy Peters, your top 5.
That outside line is holding its own better this time than any other time, but those are some fast trucks in both lanes, and if outside looks like it's getting there, but they can't quite make it.
Looks like it's separated. They have a hard time making a move. You see that 18, the yellow truck on the high side of this racetrack. Kyle Busch trying to make a move. Look who he's got behind him.
He's got that 51. He was calling for him. He said, I don't care if he pushes me or I push him. Find him for me. They're going to shuck Jeffrey Aronat out. Jeffrey's doing a nice job here, but he's going to lose the entire draft here, get behind the very back.
These two trucks, the 18 and the 51, have worked together before on super speedways. Kyle Busch even said last year, I'm going to push Eric Almirola to the win until the very last moment, and then he ended up passing him and winning at Talladega.
They worked a little too close together in our opening practice, taking each other out, or actually taking Almirola out. And I love what Kyle and his group said. We will help him fix his truck, because I felt like it was my fault.
How about Matt Crafton made a run up through the middle, got by Kyle Busch and Eric Almirola. Remember, he was involved in that incident. Yeah, looks like it hasn't hurt his truck too much.
For whatever reason, that 18 truck doesn't have a lot of speed in it. He just
problems.
Here we go.
Got the 77 around. The 81 of David Starr also goes around.
Hold the brake.
Justin Lofton in the 77. Now we're seeing David Starr in that 81 go backwards. Also saw the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb make the hard left turn and go down pit road, going quite a bit faster than pit road speed.
As long as she would try to slow down once she got to pit road. It's okay to go down pit road to avoid an incident and speed, but you have to slow down and try to get to pit road speed if you can.
Got a left rear down on the 77. I don't know if that's what happened or not. Let's see if he made contact or does something happen here.
He starts wobbling right there. That looks like maybe
Max Pappas got into the back of him.
Possibly Max got into the back of him and got him loose. The left rear tire is down. I don't know if it's from the slide or not. Probably is.
I think David Starr, an innocent victim there. You can see at the top of your screen Jennifer Jo Cobb, and she was definitely slowing down. There's another view. You see the 77 wobbling, and that throws him out into the outside into David Starr. Look at Jennifer Jo. What a nice decision she made to go down pit road.
Saw that 81 of David Starr coming in front of her. Held it hard left and went right down pit road. Slowed down, as you mentioned.
Super slow motion.
Yeah, look back in there and see.
There's the contact between the 77 and the 81. Turns David right down in front of Max Pappas and the damaged 30 truck of Todd Bodine.
Jennifer Jo Cobb, let's ride along with her at speed.
There you go. You're good. You're good. You're good. Pit road. Pit road. Pit road. Pit road. Pit road. Now you need to start slowing down. Start slowing down. You got to reduce your speed. There you go. There you go. Reduce your speed. You're going to be fine. Just roll right off the end of pit road, and we're good to go.
We have to give credit to Keith Barnwell because he called that whole thing for her.
Wreck ahead. Stay high.
Because the track has been repaved, you could turn that truck down on the pit road as fast as she was going and not spin it out. Got so much grip in this racetrack and in the tires.
Todd Bodine will be the Aaron's lucky dog and receive a lap back. Todd Bodine currently scored in the 22nd position, the two-time winner of this race. Welcome back. Nextera Energy Resources 250 presented on speed by Goodyear under our fifth caution. Tonight, this time it was just a few trucks that were involved. It slows the field once again. We go back trackside to Chris DeVoe.
Well, Rick, the garage, a busy place right now. Travis Quapple had made a 4-tire change right before the incident occurred, and it looked like you were trying to kind of give some warning out there.
Yeah, I could feel we're just past the trial there, and I could feel the left rear kind of shake and start to vibrate. And I was like, oh, man, this is going to be big. So I got my hand out and let them guys know I was checking up and trying to get up out of the way, but it blew out and turned around on me. But just unfortunate, we had a pretty decent truck. I don't think we were really super fast to be out front leading, but we were doing some good strategy on pit road, and we were in a position to make it to the end there, and we were just going to try and pick them off and be patient and be there at the end. So it's a bummer for International Trucks, Monaco RV. We had a bunch of people here cheering us on tonight, so we'll be strong at Phoenix next week. We'll go get them there.
Travis, I mean in the best way possible. Welcome back to the Truck Series.
Yeah, thanks.
Hermie?
Hermie.
Yeah, listening back to that footage of Jennifer Jo Cobb coming down pit road, that familiar voice you heard was Keith Barnwell, a very experienced spotter, the same spotter that helped Jamie McMurray win the Daytona 500 last year. So good to hear that familiar voice to make that evasive move for Jennifer Jo Cobb coming down pit road. Also want a quick note about Michael Waltrip up front here on the inside, ready for this last restart. He made a comment that, not sure why, but his truck really pulls better with Chevrolets, and he's got a few of them around him there, but we'll see if his Toyota needs to hook up with a Chevrolet to get to victory lane. Ray?
And guys, I want to keep an eye on the front up there. Michael Waltrip on the radio talking with Elliott Sadler, and it appears that Michael is going to slow down enough on this restart to let the 2 drop to the bottom. They believe that's the potent combination, so we'll see if the 2 can dive in there and be the lead in front of 15.
I don't know if I'd do that.
We saw that
on the radio. He said he works better with a Chevrolet.
I know he does, but man, we're coming to the money lap, man. You don't give up a position now.
But so many times we've heard drivers say, man, I was out there, I was a sitting duck.
Well,
does Michael want to be the sitting duck, or does he want to be the one who makes the decision?
He needs to look in his mirror and see who's behind him, because that's a pretty potent piece that could push him very well. That's a Chevrolet laid up behind him there, so I don't know. They got it figured out better than we do, I guess.
I think it's a good call. I think Michael is working really well with Elliott Sadler. A lot of experience from both of those drivers. I think they'd like to settle amongst themselves a little bit later on here.
Elliott Sadler is leading this race. He had the choice of the inside or outside line. He chooses the outside line as they come through the tri-oval. Green flag back in the air. Down to the bottom of the racetrack goes Elliott Sadler, just as it was planned. But take a look on the outside. The 17 of Timothy Peters getting a push from the 31 of James Busher.
That 31 and the 4, they're strong. It's just hard to make it's hard to make a run on that outside once the inside line gets up a little head of steam.
Michael right up against the 2 truck of Elliott Sadler. Watch him drive away now.
Yep.
To the outside. How about Matt Crafton in the 88?
As Eric Almirola pushing him on the outside. They're making a move.
Now that, I'm sure the bumpers don't line up, because the 88 bumper got shoved way up in that most recent crash.
They might line up better because it's gone. So he may have done everything to lose, that's for sure.
They're losing ground now, though.
Almirola jumped out from behind him, and that will make that 88 drop to the back of the line.
Timothy Peters got caught in the middle in that K&N 17 truck. Now he's going to pull him behind Carmichael. Lost a bunch of positions.
Bottom.
Look at all the momentum.
Keep rolling here.
Nothing you can do, man. They just that outside just does not have it tonight.
There's the missing bumper of the 88 of Matt Crafton.
That's a good thing. It lets all that air that traps up under those trucks, lets it all come out the back.
How about Jeffrey Earnhardt? Absolutely. What a great job he's done in the Fuel Doctor Chevrolet. Right now running up on the lead lap.
This time by, it will be the final 10 laps from the season opener from Daytona International Speedway.
And look at the 31 and the 4. They just continue to go to the back.
Led the first 55 laps of this race. Now he's going to have a little bit of momentum, but we haven't seen it from the outside. We haven't seen them gain that many positions.
Checking up that inside line. The outside line's able to make a little bit of a move.
It's like a yo-yo on the outside. You go up, you go down, you go back.
How about Cole Witt right now running in the 5th spot? Did not qualify with his Turn 1 motorsports team. Jumped in Shane Sieg's number 93 truck. Right now running up in the top 5 after starting at the very back.
Well, remember, in his other truck, his Red Bull truck, he was the fastest truck in practice. Of course, he was drafting, but he had a fast truck, and apparently he can get around here pretty good.
Kyle Busch came up fast on
Chris Fontaine
in that 84, and now he has to check up as those two are trying to work through the middle, and we see James Busher falling further back.
Yeah, it's hopeless when you get out there like that, and it's this late in the race, and they're running off and leaving you.
Justin Lofton on the high side of the racetrack trying to stay out of the way as the field makes its way by him.
That was a good move. Stand high, just hold your line. That's all you need to do. Just don't move. We'll get by you.
Inside of 9 laps remaining. The field making their way into 3 and 4. Elliott Sadler next time by will have just 8 laps to go to hold off Michael Waltrip, Austin Dillon, the 29 of Parker Kligerman.
I think Michael's going to be satisfied just to sit right there till the very last lap. Will he wait till the backstretch on the last lap or coming off forward, DW?
I think he and the 3 truck are trying to figure out what they're going to do, if they're going to do something.
That inside line hugging the yellow line.
Remember, that's a Chevrolet in the lead with Elliott Sadler. That's KHI truck. Michael's a Toyota, and the 3 truck is an RCR Chevrolet. But remember, same engines, ECR engines for both those teams. You think if Michael pulls out, the 3's going to let him go and jump in with the 2?
That's what I think. I think that's the whole key to this deal here. Is the 3 going to go with Michael if he decides to go? But Phil, there is some irony in this whole setup. There's Michael in the 15. You got Dillon in the 3. It's February the 18th.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
10 years ago.
10 years ago today.
The 84 of Chris Fontaine right in front of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Looks like a little steam maybe coming out of the 18 of Kyle Busch.
How about Todd Bodine with all the damage to his truck? He got the lucky dog just a few moments ago, and right now being shown up in the top 10.
That's what would make you mad. If you're sitting out there and you haven't been in any wreck, you hadn't had any trouble, and people that look like this cat right here go driving by you. That
Look
will
at the
make you a
outside
little...
line work, guys. Here comes Chris Fontaine with Kyle Busch behind him. The outside line is working.
Stay on the brakes. Let off the brakes.
Where did he come from?
Remember, Chris Fontaine had such a great run at Talladega, ran out of fuel. Right now, Kyle Busch may not even know who Chris Fontaine is, and right now they're acting like teammates.
Well, you know what? There's always a surprise when you come to Daytona. In every race, there's somebody that shows up that you just don't expect. And right now, he happens to be driving truck number 84.
One of the things, and we only have 6 laps, less than 6 laps to go. I'm seeing steam come out of the 18 of Kyle Busch. He is tucked in behind that 84. Krista?
Kyle hasn't said anything about a potential overheating problem, but he does know who Chris Fontaine is. He knew he was going to match up with him in these closing laps once the field shuffled out, where that was his only hope. But he did say he wasn't sure if he trusted him. He wasn't sure if he should be pushing or being up front, because he didn't know how the spotters would work.
How about this? Chris Fontaine in front of the field at Daytona International Speedway. He's got his hands full with Kyle Busch shoving from behind.
Kyle Busch will blow up. He's going to blow that thing up, but he is not going to get out behind him.
More steam coming out of that 18 truck.
Kyle Busch tries to cheat to the outside to get some air. You heard him say, got to get down.
Ahead. He has slow truck ahead.
That's going to hurt the performance of that 18. When that thing gets so hot and it finally loses enough water, it'll hurt the performance of it. It'll start to detonate.
So give me some air, and you still see the steam rolling out at the base of the windshield of the 18 of Kyle Busch. Is he going to get shuffled out of the way? Here comes the 31 of James Busher up the middle.
I don't know if there's any room, but there trouble.
They go.
Problems as they go through the triangle. Austin Dillon is caught up in it. The 31 of Busher's caught up in it.
That's the rest of the field.
They're
right
all
there.
in it.
That's
They're all
done.
in it.
There's only 2 guys left running.
The 2 that made it through, Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip. Take a look at the cars, trucks that are still under their own power.
Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, Miguel Paludo,
Chris Fontaine in the 84.
How
Was he
about
involved?
Austin Dillon? Look at all the damage on that 3 truck of Austin Dillon's.
There was some heavy contact. The 18 has got damage and looks like a steam engine.
Todd Bodine
Todd, this is his
time
second
to climb out.
His second go around. He said, I guess that'll about do it right there, boys.
Brad Sweet, great run going. That great Clips Chevrolet.
Parker Kligerman running the 29. Had such a good run going. There's the 84 of Chris Fontaine. I was wondering if he was able to get through. He was not.
What a great job, Chris Fontaine. Kyle Busch almost pushed him to the lead. Timothy Peters, he was the 4th truck in line. There's Ricky Carmichael. You see the damage on Ricky Carmichael's truck.
You know, I believe if the 18 hadn't have gotten hot and started blowing
Speaking
steam
of getting
out.
hot, Jennifer Jo Cobb pulls up next to Kyle Busch and voices her displeasure.
Not sure. I'd have to see all the replays to see what that's all about.
Max Pappas also pulls up. Chris Fontaine out of his truck. Todd Bodine out of his truck.
James Buescher jumps to the inside. Let's see who makes contact first. James Buescher's good.
They just start bouncing around back in there.
It was really Brad Sweet in the 32 truck. Maybe the 32 got hooked by the 51 truck. Red flag is out.
That's kind of what it looked like. They just started moving around. They were wobbling as they were going down toward turn 1 there. Truck gets really free coming through the tri-oval here, especially when you get them 3 wide like that.
It was 3 wide in front of where the truck that got a little bit.
Here's another look now. Watch.
A little bit sideways.
Watch watch behind the blue truck. That's the 32 behind the blue truck. Looks like he may have got pushed from behind, and that got him into the truck on the inside.
I believe that.
Is that Eric Almirola, maybe the 51 truck?
That black truck has
and the
Almirola.
Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, Almirola got it going.
I think he got in the back of Brad Sweet, possibly.
Yeah.
And then turned him sideways.
And, buddy, when he did.
There's another view. Watch behind the blue truck now. Watch behind the blue truck.
He'll catch the 29 of Parker Kligerman.
I don't think the 51 was into the back of him, DW.
It almost looked like the 32 and the 18 made some contact.
Blocks the track, and nobody had anywhere to go. Ricky Carmichael did a nice job going down through the grass to avoid that.
About a $500,000 junkyard right there. We just keep looking at this. We'll figure it out. The 31 is going to squeeze in right here, and this is what starts to create the commotion. Looking.
Yeah, here we're going to. You see Buescher start wobbling there a little bit.
Little bit of movement.
What's then maybe the 93 of Cole Witt may have got into Brad Sweet, possibly right into his left rear corner. How about Miguel Paludo, that white truck, avoiding that's going to end up in the 3rd spot when they get to turn 1.
But Phil, you know, when they start moving around like that, all that movement, you really don't have control of your truck.
You talked about at the very opening of the show. You run just as fast on that portion of the racetrack. It's only banked 18 degrees.
The things really get free and light coming through there.
3 wide here. Looking to make it 3 wide. Hold your line up top. Wrecking.
Yeah, that lick. Whoever was under the 31 got into the 31, and I think may have started that. And we think it may have been Cole Witt.
There's Timothy Peters. He's going to be another one of the guys, the fortunate ones that gets through this.
If you can get through this, you're Houdini. That's all I know. Look at this. How are you going to get through here? How are you going to get through here?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. All right, let's look at this real close now. These guys right here, and maybe this is where it came from. 2 black trucks down on the inside. Now let's see where they go. 31.
He squeezes the 29 down a little bit. There's the 32. He starts wiggling. He started wiggling. The 51 of Almirola did not get in the back of that 32. He just got a little bit loose, like you talked about, turned sideways and got into the truck on the inside.
Clipped him and turned him right into the 31. Get enough looks at this thing, we'll figure it all out eventually. Oh my, look at that at real time.
That was a hard hit by Parker Kligerman.
And I'm not sure, Phil, but down in there may not be any safer barrier. I think that's right in a part of the racetrack where they don't have safer barrier.
Just before it starts back for the corner.
Yeah, they had just gone through the trial.
There's a start-finish line right there. Just past that.
Now
there was some safer barrier there.
They caught some of it right at the end of the safer barrier. Yeah. You can see, if you look on the outside, you'll see those blocks of styrofoam.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He caught it right on the end.
Piece of sheet metal flying through the air and
flying everywhere.
Thank goodness that it landed in the infield.
What an amazing job, though, by Miguel Paludo to avoid this, as well as Timothy Peters. And those essentially were the only 4 trucks to emerge unscathed.
You see the damage to a lot of the trucks that are stopped here because we're under a red flag condition.
Can you believe the way the seas parted for that 17, though? I mean, how could he get through that whole mess? He drove through the whole thing and didn't hit anybody.
A lot of damaged race trucks.
If I don't trust if I shut it off, it'll fire back up.
Kyle Busch saying, I don't want to shut it off. Trucks that looked so good earlier today, now messed up.
Dale had a charm that he could turn on and off. And he had a real gruffness and standoffishness. He could really reach both ends of the spectrum, you know, and switch it on and off within a minute if he wanted to. A lot of times, he'd be just fooling with you, but you really wouldn't know until you saw that crooked smile, you know, from underneath the mustache, and you knew he was just playing with you.
10 years ago today, that's coming up next, The Day, remembering Dale Earnhardt.
An absolute riveting piece. I mean, there's some people that were just pouring their hearts out about how that affected them that day.
Well, I think that day changed our sport immensely, and in so many ways. And obviously, the huge loss of Dale Sr., but so many things have transpired since then. We just talk about the safer barrier that time that Parker Kligerman ran into. You know, that came after Dale Sr. and the seat technology and the headrest and basically the Sprint Cup car all came out of that. And just an amazing human being and so you know, larger than life.
Yes.
And so we're under a red flag condition with just a few laps remaining here at Daytona International Speedway, and one of the drivers involved in this incident, Brad Sweet, is with Chris Devoda.
That's right, Rick. We knew that the real estate would get a lot smaller as the laps got smaller. Is that what happened out there? Can you walk us through your incident?
Yeah, you know, the outside line got going there, and you know, we're getting down to crunch time, and I went with my teammate. He tried to hang Kyle out to dry there, and you know, we were kind of hung in the middle. I honestly don't know what happened. I'm kind of watching the replay right now, but you know, I went with James in the middle there, and I felt like someone just maybe got my right rear corner, left rear corner or something, and you know, went spinning up in the wall. But you know, hats off to our guys. You know, Turner Motorsports, we ran up front all race. You know, our trucks were super fast. Great Clip Chevy was just amazingly fast there, and I think we would have had something for him at the end, but you know, we're on the hook, and you know, we'll get him next week.
Thanks, Brad.
Let's see if we can talk to Mikey. Hey, Mikey, it's us in the speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Phil, I got you. I've been going crazy down here. Why didn't y'all call earlier?
Well, you know, when the caution comes out, we have to do commercials and stuff like that. We wanted to talk to you. We just haven't had time. But did you catch a glimpse of that in your mirror?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kyle Busch is an amazing race car driver, man. He's the only one that could have got those guys there. If you don't have NASCAR.com race view, get it before Sunday, because you're going to see the most amazing race ever in the 500. And these guys are just that good. They figured out how to make it a battle to the end. And I had to push on my buddy Elliott. I had my truck all up against his back end, and he was able to hang on to it, thankfully.
Mikey, there aren't many of you guys left standing. I mean, you and Elliott got through there, and then Timothy Peters and Miguel Paludo. What is getting down to crunch time here? You won't have but 2 or 3 laps to go. How are you going to beat that 2 truck?
Well, we've been talking about that. I still believe the best way for me to try to win is to let him start on the outside and get in front of me. That way I know I'm right on him. If I can get the right push from the truck behind me, the 7, then we can make a run on him. So it's risky, but Elliott's faster than me. He's got more speed, and I'm afraid that if I get beside him, I won't have a chance to win. I think if I do this, I'll have a chance.
All right, buddy, we know you can do it. We've watched you do it here in the Cup Series. Hey, how about throwing it to our broadcast partner, Ray, on pit road?
Hey, Ray, I'm in chassis 25 out here. I'm running second, but I got to get her to victory lane, brother.
Well, Michael, we wish you good luck. And when we talk about chassis, how about KHI? They bought 3 brand new trucks this week. And Bruce Cook, looks like you guys prepared a pretty good one. But what do you think it's going to be for strategy to pull off this victory for the 2 truck?
I think you just got to basically get to the bottom and have Michael keep pushing him like we've been doing all night. It seems to work very good, them 2 trucks together. And it seems like 90% of the rest of the field store up. So we'll see what happens right there with them 2 trucks. It's probably going to come down to them 2 trucks, I hope.
Pretty good way to start off the season and a pretty good way to start off your Truck Series crew chief role.
Yes, really good. Dream come true if we could seal this deal right here. All these guys deserve it. And then hats off to Kevin and Delana at KHI for letting us build new stuff to come down here and dominate like this.
All right, good luck. They have won 11 races by debuting brand new trucks. Krista?
Well, Ray, they have a chance, and every time we come to a super speedway, Todd Bodine feels like he has a chance. That chance was snuffed out with just 4 laps to go.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of snuffed out earlier than that when we got together over there. I don't know what Travis was doing, pulling out of line, but running and nowhere to go, run right into him. But it's not a great way to start. Yeah, watch the replay here. It looks like the 29 got in the back of the 31. That's what kind of started this whole thing. It's good, tight racing. A lot of these guys don't know what's going on sometimes. Well, maybe it was somebody behind him. Anyway, it was a big mess. It's not a great way to start this relationship with Tire Kingdom and Service Center and Valvoline. Valvoline's been great to us, but we'll come back again. We'll get them at Phoenix. It's a long season, a new point system, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Get them next week. That's sort of an ongoing theme. Let's bring Austin Dillon in here as well. Austin, you were watching the exact same monitor trying to figure out what went on. I know you had high hopes for that pole position tonight. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we were in the position we needed to be. I'd already been talking to Andy about what we're going to have to do on the white flag lap. I mean, we're sitting third. That was the spot to be in. And felt like we ran our race. Just struggled there at the end. It happens, man. It's Daytona. I don't know what else to say. Really upset for all these 3 fans and Bass Pro Shops, but heck, I think we gave them a good run, and people know we're here this year, and that's a lot better than last year. We made it to 96 or something, so that's way better than number 1, huh?
95 lap improvement. Thanks, Austin. Hermie?
Yeah, thanks, Krista. The 17 of Timothy Peters did a great job of getting through that accident. He came down pit road for 4 tires. Also, the 4 of Ricky Carmichael down on pit road for 4 tires and a little bit of a repair to the splitter to get back on the racetrack. Still on the lead lap, both trucks.
I believe the 17 may have come down for safety purposes.
Might have slid the tires a little bit.
He was locked up pretty good there at one time.
Krista Boda.
Well, I don't know if anyone is more frustrated down here than Chris Fontaine because he could smell victory similar to Talladega last year. Talk about your chances, and you had Kyle Busch pushing you.
Yeah, in practice we talked about it. If we could get hooked up, that was the plan, and I didn't really think we could make up that much ground on the outside. Nobody else was really able to make it work. But my spotter was telling me what to do, and Kyle was pushing me. I mean, you can inch our way up there. I don't know if we led that lap there, but it was close, and I could smell victory. I could taste it. It was 4 laps away, I think it was. I don't know what would have happened off turn 4, but it would have been fun.
Is there any positive you can take out of this of people watching at home now, like we said after Talladega, knowing your name and seeing that someone like Kyle Busch wants to and chooses to work with you?
Well, we need a sponsor on the side of that truck so we can go to every race. Our doors are open for anything. We're definitely be at all the Speedway races, though.
Thanks, Chris.
And so a depleted field. Kyle Busch, again, had the steam rolling out of that race truck as he was trying to push Chris Fontaine to the front. But as all of that was taking place right up toward the front, problems just behind them. Took virtually everyone out that stayed in the field. Out in front, it was Elliott Sadler and Michael Waltrip. They didn't get caught up. Will one of them get to victory lane tonight? Welcome back. We're getting close now. The Nextera Energy Resources 250 presented on speed by Goodyear. The final laps. Out in front, Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip. Guess what? Those are two of the trucks that haven't got damaged.
This is the list of trucks, the entire list of trucks that have not been damaged tonight. 5 trucks.
Well, I'd like to say that there's some strategy involved here, but I don't exactly know what it would be. The only thing I can think of, if Jennifer Joe could get up there against Elliott Sadler and not let him and Michael get together, I don't know. That's a strategy.
How about that one truck right there running in the 5th spot? Did a nice job this entire race. Jeffrey Earnhardt, the Fuel Doctor Chevrolet. Let's see him get a good finish here.
And Timothy Peters is, you know, he's got a good truck, but I mean, we're out of time here. He's going to have to really have something.
Going to be our first attempt at a green-white checker.
Something miraculous happen here.
We can do 3 attempts at a green-white checker finish.
They're going to wave off the restart. They're going to run another lap.
Making sure the track is completely clear.
Nobody has a fuel issue.
Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, Miguel Paludo, Jennifer Joe Cobb, Jeffrey Earnhardt. They're your top 5. Peters, Kligerman, David Starr, Clay Rogers, Matt Crafton, your top 10.
I mean, as uncertain as we've been all night, I would almost certainly think that this race will be won by Elliott Sadler or Michael. I mean, they're the 2 best trucks left running.
And you're certain about that?
Well, I say.
As uncertain as we've been?
I'll give you a definite maybe on that.
Well, I tell you what, this is a good time to talk about the Ram guts and glory of this race. Who has the guts and or the glory?
How about Miguel Paludo right there? Going to avoid this incident. Trucks crashing all around him.
7 and 17. Able to avoid the guts. But will they be able to get to the glory?
Look at that. Just come out of nowhere. Trucks everywhere, and you come out of it unscathed.
Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, before we got the green flag tonight, I was talking about the recipe for success here at Daytona. Remember, I was talking about last lap passes. Well, let's talk green-white checker, too, because there have been 3 of those at this track, but 2 of the green-white checkers ended up in one of those last lap passes. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting to see what that 15 and that 2 do. Will Michael really lay back there and follow him to the end, Darrell?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that Michael is going to back up here and let Elliott in front of him. But Michael thinks, based on what we've seen down here, that being in 2nd place coming off turn 4 is a winning move. We'll see.
Again, Elliott Sadler, your race leader. Michael Waltrip, 2nd. Miguel Paludo, Jennifer Joe Cobb, 3rd and 4th. Jeffrey Earnhardt in 5th.
How about somebody like a Jennifer Joe Cobb winning this race?
It'd be amazing.
For Miguel Paludo.
Those 2 are sitting there in a position.
And maybe even fitting for a Jeffrey Earnhardt to win this race?
That would be.
It'd be unbelievable.
It just would be unheard of.
Green-white checkered, 4th green-white checkered at Daytona in this, the 12th race.
Hey, let's don't forget Kyle Busch, too. He's still on the lead lap.
You can't ever count out Kyle Busch.
Well,
Pace truck has made its way onto pit road. Here we go. First attempt at a green-white checkered. Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, green flag back in the air.
And there he goes, letting him right down in front of him like they did on all the other restarts. So now
Cobb also tucking in behind the 7 of Miguel Paludo.
Remember, we got 2 Toyotas. Miguel Paludo's in a Toyota. Elliott Sadler's in a Chevrolet.
But now Michael's got people behind him, but he doesn't really know for sure what they can or will do.
Down the back stretch they go. Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, 1 and 2.
Remember, a Chevrolet has never won here in the Truck Series at Daytona.
2 by 2 back there for the 4th position
Timothy Peters in the 17 trying to get that outside line to run.
Just can't. Boy, it takes too many laps to get there from the outside.
Coming out of 4. White flag will be in the air. One more time around Daytona. Elliott Sadler, Michael Waltrip, 1 and 2.
It's going to be between those two guys. They have actually gapped everybody else. So I think it's going to be between them. And boy, Michael's getting a little aggressive now. He's starting to work that back bumper.
I thought he was going to pick the rear wheels off the ground.
Yeah, he's not going to give it to him. He said, you're going to have to earn it, dude.
They pulled away from the pack. Down the back stretch they go. Can the pack catch them by the time they get out of turn 4?
Remember, the next flag will end this race.
Look at how Michael's got the whole back end of the 2 truck of Sadler off the ground.
Into 3 and 4. Elliott Sadler looking for his second win in the Camping World Trucks. Michael Waltrip has never won in a truck, but he's won here twice.
Here he comes.
To the finish line.
He got him. Mikey, you got him.
You got it.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Hey, guys, look at the rear spoiler on Mikey's truck.
Michael Waltrip,
he doesn't have a rear spoiler,
has won his first ever Camping World Truck Series race 10 years to the day of his first Daytona 500
I can't believe I'm up here doing this race, and he's out there doing what he does, and here we are again, 10 years later. February the 18th.
To the day.
Yeah, baby.
Remember now, there's a minimum angle that spoiler has to maintain.
I think we might have a problem.
might have a bit of a problem maintaining that angle.
Yes, it was gone.
Yeah, he's missing a very critical part of these vehicles.
Well, and we heard earlier in this race, you see that spoiler.
This is essentially a brand new team. This is what was left of Billy Ballou Motorsports. Vision Airlines bought this team, so this is their actual first attempt. And they could end up in victory lane. But what a great job, and what a great drive by Michael Waltrip.
Here's what I guarantee you. The win will stand. Now, there might be a fine, there might be a penalty because of that spoiler coming down, falling down, but I guarantee the win will stand.
He's going to get the win.
I think he will.
And he will become...
You guaranteed just a moment ago.
It's the best guarantee I got.
Take a look at what just took place.
My goodness. And Michael had it figured. He had it figured out. He did exactly what he said he was going to do.
That's a great battle. Look at Clay Rogers come up there.
Whoa.
With Kyle Busch pushing him. Clay ends up finishing up in the 3rd spot.
Michael Waltrip wants to grab the checkered flag. Once again, he will go to victory lane at Daytona International Speedway. 2 times the Daytona 500 winner. Now he's got a Daytona 250 trophy to go with those.
Hey, Mikey, we knew you could do it, buddy.
I'm just thankful.
What does it mean, Mikey, 10 days after that Daytona 500 win, 10 years after that Daytona 500 win?
I don't know, Phil. I don't know. I just am so thankful for Dale. My brother knows. My brother knows. Let him tell you.
Let me tell you, brother, that was amazing. That strategy you had, I said, I don't know if that's going to work or not. You are the man. God love you, man. Congratulations, and what a great time to do it. Good job, buddy. Good job. I'm proud of you. Proud of you, Mikey.
Good job, Mikey.
An emotional win. Not only Michael, but obviously brother Darrell.
I don't know what to say. That is unbelievable that he could do that.
Let's go down to Hermie Sadler.
Yeah, catching up with Elliott Sadler. I know you're disappointed with the 2nd place finish, but you guys were in position to get it done. Go take us through that last lap one more time.
Yeah, Michael and I worked really good together the whole race. We got into the end, and we started a tandem, and I knew when I come off 4, it was going to be hard to block him, and I was trying to block him high, but I didn't want him to get under me. I felt like I had a better chance to keep pushing him high, but he made a great move. But can't thank Kevin and Delaney enough giving me a great truck tonight. One Main Financial. Started off the good season with a 2nd place finish, led some laps, but wish in victory lane, but we got another chance tomorrow.
It's Elliott Sadler. He finished 2nd.
See the 15, Michael Waltrip battling through the tri-oval with the checkered flag in the air and about a half a truck lead over Elliott Sadler when they cross the stripe.
You know, Mikey's been up in the booth with us for several years now, and we know how much he enjoys broadcasting this series, but we know he's always been itching to get out there because, you know, this is one of the things on his resume. He never won a truck race. He hasn't had that many starts, but he hasn't got to victory lane. We always talk about the guys that have won in all 3 divisions. He's joined them.
Well, you know what? He's done something I haven't done. I never won a truck race either. And so that's a great accomplishment on his part.
Quite a fraternity. There's only been 22 drivers that have ever won in all 3 series. Michael Waltrip, the 22nd, to add his name to that list.
Little daughter Macy there.
Let's go to victory lane. Chris Devoda.
Well, Michael Waltrip's barely taking the time to take his helmet off. The first one to the truck, his daughter Macy. She's helping him get out of the car. And he waves the checkered flag. Michael Waltrip is exhausted, elated, thankful, and overwhelmed. As we slide into step and talk with Michael Waltrip. Michael, I know you dream big. You've dreamt of a truck win. If you could have scripted it, would have ever been at Daytona in the 15, 10 years to the day.
No, I'm just so thankful. I want to thank the fans, man. They keep us going, and they've just been so good to us. Camping World, this whole truck series, I've been an admirer of it from the speed booth. Krista, I'm just so happy Macy's here. I love her so much. It's just very emotional, and I didn't know I could push Elliott all the way around there, and I was able to do it. I didn't know I could do that, and I wouldn't have known if it weren't for Kyle Busch. That's how good he is. He taught me how to win a race. I'm just, God bless Dale, you know, and his family and his fans. I came here to celebrate his life with my black truck and my 15 car. I didn't come to celebrate a win. But this feels really good. I'm thankful.
Can you describe to the move? You said you were going to do it exactly the way you did. At what point did you know inside that race truck, I did it again?
When I pulled out, I still didn't know because I didn't know how much my truck would bog down. I didn't know if maybe Elliott could tick back inside of me. I didn't know until I saw the checkered, and I'm just so thankful. I mean, I don't even know those guys. Hi, y'all. I mean, I know Tom and Doug.
The thing is, they know you, Michael.
They wanted me to drive their truck. And Jerry wants me to drive his car tomorrow. And Bobby Kennedy and those guys at MWR want me to drive on Sunday. And it wouldn't be possible if it weren't for this guy. MWR was up a creek, and Rob showed up with a paddle. And now we got our feet under us, and maybe we could do this on Sunday, too.
Macy, how high were you fist pumping and celebrating when you knew your dad won it?
We were in the bus screaming. It was so fun. We were all...
Michael Waltrip has always said, if he's in the race, he feels like he has a chance to win it. The 15 is back in victory lane.
Michael Waltrip has a chance at the triple. He's won the first one.
And what I can't believe, he called it. And I remember what he was telling me Dale told him when he won the first race in 2001. Dale called what was going to happen at the end of the race.
Exactly.
Michael called this. And what a move. Man, what a move.
You know, we've never had a driver. Listen to him now. He's going to pull out here and never check up. Just hold that thing to the mat. We know DW.
Baby, you got it. Hell yeah, Michael Waltrip. Hell yeah.
We know he's one of the best that's ever run here. He knows how to work the draft. He knows how to put himself in position.
February 18th.
You know what I was thinking he was going? I said, I I thought maybe Michael said, look, I'm a kind of an interloper here, and Elliot's going to run all the races, and he's going to run for a championship or whatever. And Michael has such a big heart that he might have given that, not necessarily given it to him, but just made Elliot earn it. And so I was thinking Michael's just going to try to run second to Elliot. He likes old Elliot. They're good buddies. But I'll be darned, he had a move planned, and he put it on him.
Tell you what, Darrell, it was 10 years ago that we heard you call your brother to his first Daytona 500 win, and take a listen.
He got him! Mikey, you got him! All right! Hell yeah!
Hey, guys.
Speed's presentation of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on Speed by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Goodyear, more driven. Brought to you in part by Camping World and the Good Sam RV Club. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, roadside assistance, and more. And by CiCi's Pizza, home of the endless pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet. Let's go back trackside to Herbie Sadler.
Well, Daytona's always full of a lot of exciting stories. Clay Rogers, a top 5 finish for you here. It's got to be a career night for you.
It absolutely is, man. I mean, what a last lap that was. And, first of all, I got to thank Kyle for getting behind me there. And they said before the restart that he was going to push me. And he pushed me a few years ago at Talladega, and we almost had the same result. But, man, I just wish we'd had somewhere to go with that run sooner. But I can't thank these guys on this team. RBR Motorsports is a small-time team. Come down here and finish third, first time out. You know, people like Action Gator Tire Stores that are local in Florida come on the truck to help us out. Fleet HQ, Goodyear, BTS Tire and Wheel Distributors. And how about that pro motor, man? I mean, can't thank Mark Smith and his guys enough. It's what it's about here, and we were tuned up for qualifying, so we weren't a very good pusher. But if we got somebody behind us, we could rock and roll. And I guess maybe Kyle saw that at some point in the race, and he had some faith in us. I just got to thank him, man.
Unreal. Clay Rogers comes home with third place finish here at Daytona.
Well, it looked like Kyle Busch and the 84 were going to have a shot to go to the front. Did you know who you were drafting with?
Yeah, I knew it. We were talking all day long yesterday about how we could work well together, and we did the same thing at Talladega last year. So Chris did a great job. You know, we talked over the radio through spotters, so the communication was a bit crisp. Not very crisp, I should say. It was very disengaged, but lo and behold, we made it work, and we got all the way up there, and then unfortunately we got tangled up from some guys getting together behind us, and the ricochet just kind of came up forward. But you know, these Dollar General guys at Kyle Busch Motorsports did a great job putting this thing back together, and the Triad engine department built a great engine for me. It was a steam engine there for a while. All it had was left in it was steam. So I can't thank Dollar General and NOS Energy Drink, Flexco, NASCAR.com. Congratulations to them. They won the race, and they won the race with me at the Bristol Sweep last year. They're on board with us tonight. So all in all, it was a fun race. And then there at the end, if you don't know what Daytona means to people, this Ricky Benton team and Clayton Rogers and those guys were pretty pumped up about it. And pushing them up through there to get a third-place finish was pretty neat, and felt good to see them all excited afterwards.
From the back to the front, Kyle Busch ends up with a good run tonight at Daytona.
Good enough for a 5th-place finish as we look at our Napa race results. Michael Waltrip grabs his first ever Camping World Truck Series win.
How about career best for Clay Rogers in 3rd, Miguel Paludo in 4th, Jennifer Jo Cobb, the highest ever finish by a woman in this series, finishes 6th. Jeffrey Earnhardt, his first top 10, finishes 7th.
Ricky Carmichael knew he was going to run the entire season, running for a championship, gets a top 10 finish. Timothy Peters, our race winner from a year ago, relegated back to the 11th spot.
He came down pit road and put on tires. I think he slid the tires in that wreck, and he had to make a pit stop there late. That hurt him, Timothy.
Travis Kvapil finishes 29th in this race and looking so strong early on.
Some serious contenders, man, wiped out in a couple of big wrecks.
Bill, you talked about Jennifer Jo Cobb and the great finish she had. She's now with Herbie Sadler.
Well, I guess if you're going to pick a place for your best career finish, Daytona's a pretty good place to do that. Congratulations on a great run.
Thank you. I think it was our worst finish last year and our best this year. So I'm pretty darn excited. You know, of course, I got to thank LiliesCosmetics.com and Rimrock Designs. And, you know, we're launching an initiative for the military this week and honoring Bruce and my grandpa. Just so it's a very special day, very high emotion day. I'm like, would I have to do so well on the only day I'm not wearing my makeup from LiliesCosmetics.com? But I'm grateful. You know, thank God, thank my team and my spotter.
A great day for her, and the highest finishing female ever in the Truck Series with this finish tonight.
Big smiles on the face of Jennifer Jo Cobb and Michael Waltrip, celebrating once again in victory lane at Daytona International Speedway. Coming up next, right here on Speed, it is the day, remembering Dale Earnhardt. 10 years ago to the day, Michael Waltrip wins his first Daytona 500, and we lose Dale Earnhardt. Extremely instrumental in that show. Ty Norris giving Michael Waltrip a hug. At the time, Ty Norris, manager for Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip, driver for Dale Earnhardt. We want to take a look at our AT&T call of the race, and it would have to be Michael Waltrip making the call exactly how he was going to win this race.
Rick, I stood here 10 years ago with my heart broken, and to the day, in this very spot. And tonight I just stand here and watch my brother do what he can do at Daytona better than anybody I know of. That sets somebody up and win a race.
It's really just amazing because that's exactly what he said he was going to do. We talked to him just before that restart. That's exactly what he said he was going to do. We really questioned whether he should have done it that way.
I did. I'm so proud of him. And folks, I know you have no idea what this victory means to that young man. This is a big night for him. It's a big win for him, and I'm so happy and proud of him. And way to go, Mikey.
Really, everyone in this sport. I think this has been amazing the way this night ended up. It was 10 years ago to the day, February 18th, and we lose Dale Earnhardt, and we see Michael Waltrip in victory lane.
But the whole weekend, you know, with Junior winning the pole, now I know he's not going to start from the pole, but Junior winning the pole and him down here with some bounce in his step. Michael comes down with these tribute cars with the 15 and the Napa and the whole deal. It's storybook. It's just storybook, and I'm glad I'm here to watch it.
And I wouldn't rule him out winning that Daytona 500 coming this Sunday.
He finished third in his qualifying race, and so he's got a great starting position. And I say this all the time, and people beat me up because it's my brother. There is no better restrictor plate racer that I have ever seen. Ever since he came to these restrictor plate tracks, he's been able to get it done.
He's entered in 3 races this weekend. He's won the first. He's got 2 more chances to make it 3 wins at Daytona. Well, also to kind of almost put a period on this story, Jeffrey Earnhardt, grandson to Dale Earnhardt, had a phenomenal finish here at Daytona. He's with Hermie.
Jeffrey Earnhardt, 7th place finish here at Daytona. It looked like there when that last restart, little Earnhardt's going to get up there and have some fun. I know you had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, you know, we had a good run tonight. I got to thank my sponsors first because, they made this possible. Fuel Doctor came on and gave me the opportunity to have a full season this year, and I can't be thankful enough for that. And, Rick Ware for putting me in his trucks. And, there for a second, I didn't think we were going to make it to the end. We got involved in that big wreck. I don't know how we made it through the way we did. The right front barely made it to the end of the race. But, these guys just did a great job tonight. And, I wanted to jump up there and, go with the guys on the top. But, everybody in the garage today just kept telling me to stay on the bottom, stay on the yellow line, and, run laps, make it to the end. And, that was our goal. We definitely didn't come in here expecting to finish here, but we did because we ran a clean race and kept our heads up and didn't get down on anything that happened. So hats off to all my crew guys and all my sponsors, Fast Wax, all those guys. They just I wouldn't be here without them, and I'm just thrilled to be here.
Jeffrey Earnhardt, 7th place finish at Daytona. His truck looks like he's been at Martinsville.
And a lot of trucks look like they had been at a short track. It ended up where we only had 5 trucks that didn't have damage, and then one of those about lost his spoiler at the end of the race.
I'm going to tell you, we said stick around. When they were single file running around, I said stick around, folks, because you ain't seen nothing yet.
How about next week we go to Phoenix, right back to back here Friday, 7:30 Eastern.
Lucas Oil 150 will be the next stop for the Camping World Truck Series. A mile racetrack. We go from the super speedway, 2.5 mile racetrack where you've got to have guys helping you to get around the track, to a racetrack where you might be moving people out of the way to get to victory lane.
I kind of wondered, why am I up here tonight? And why is Mikey running this truck race?
Now we know why.
Now I know.
Now we know. Michael Waltrip wins his first Camping World Truck Series race, and a very big one here at Daytona International Speedway.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series visits the Phoenix International Raceway. In years past, Phoenix has made champions out of many drivers. But this year, it will be setting the pace for the season. Who will lead the pack in 2011? Tune in to find out. Chris Kubota hosts the setup starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.